Hello and welcome to Game 2 of the two-game set between the visiting Walnut Creek Crawdads and the home Arroyo Seco Saints. We're here live from Jackie Robinson Memorial Field right across the street from the world-famous Rose Bowl for more CCL action set to unfold in a few minutes here in Pasadena. Good afternoon and welcome to Southern California for the finale of a two-game bout between the Crawdads and the Saints. For our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey, I'm Riley Horn alongside Dylan Cesare here on the Saints Streaming Network. Dylan, you were on the call last night, which was a thriller between the Saints and the Dads, with Arroyo Seco taking the 7-6 victory in walk-off fashion. What was it that ultimately led the Saints to a win?
They just kept fighting, and for a team that, they've seen the mixed results, 8-15 now after that win last night, and you weren't expecting them to really go down quietly, and they honestly didn't. I think what I said was willing and wanting, and now winning, and that was honestly what the Saints showed. I mean, they kept coming up big in big situations. The bullpen, Daniel Vergara and Andrew Miller, were lights out. Only one run between those two in their 5 innings that they pitched. And they just ground out at bats. It's a very veteran performance from the Saints.
And now looking to tonight, pitching matchup looks like Devin James for Walnut Creek and the CCL All-Star Joe O'Regan for Arroyo Seco. Dylan, briefly, what do you think we can expect from the mound tonight?
Well, first we'll talk about the guy, Joe O'Regan, newly committed as well to UNR, going to the University of Nevada in Reno. Probably got to see the facilities when he was up there for the All-Star game in Reno, but I think he's pitching with more fire than ever. I mean, I was talking to him the other day, and he was excited to be moved up from that Saturday usual start time up to today to face a top 3 team in the CCL. He's hungry. He'll fill up the zone. We know what he has. That cutter is starting to look better and better from the left side, from his left arm. It's going to be great. And then, Devin James on the other side. Expect the splitter. Expect some swing and miss stuff. But it's a good matchup today on the mound.
Saints looking to take the two-game sweep. Crawdads looking to leave SoCal at 500 against the Arroyo Seco Saints. We're about to get underway. Joe O'Regan, starting arm for the Arroyo Seco Saints, taking on TJ Woodson, the leadoff man, playing third base for the Walnut Creek Crawdads tonight. First pitch on the ground, foul of third base, officially a 5:39 first pitch, as the rest of the Crawdads offense looking like Daniel Pulisic in the 2-hole, James Copeland in the 3 spot, Bryden Bull 4th, Kevin Parker 5th, Sutter Moss 6th, Cam Taylor 7th, Elijah Ramos 8th, and Shane Aldridge as the second leadoff man. Swing and a miss on the changeup out of the hand of O'Regan, quickly 0-2.
It just attack mode always for Joe. I mean, you see he's already set right now, and he likes to get the defense involved, be quick with it, really fast rhythm from him.
0-2 outside, check to swing. Home plate umpire says he went around. 3-pitch strikeout to start off this one in Pasadena.
Yeah, that's what you get from Joe O'Regan. I mean, he's just been finding the strikeout stuff now, and he started the year as kind of a guy that's going to have the ball in play, get that defense involved. The defense hasn't had to do much with him on the mound because he's starting to show the strikeout stuff, and against a lefty here, I mean, we'll see what he can do.
Up steps Daniel Pulisic, 289 average with 12 knocked in so far this summer. And the lefty-lefty disadvantage as he's the left fielder. Whole lot of left going on here with Daniel Pulisic. 1-0, good breaker there from O'Regan, swing and a miss. O'Regan this summer with 4 other starts, this being his 5th, a 1-2 record, but the numbers absolutely opposed. This one slapped the other way down the third base line for a fair ball and a base hit. Rounding first, and he's going to stay there, is Pulisic with a 1-out single.
Not just good inside-out action right there, just going right past the glove of the third baseman, Freer. Crawdads, their offense is never going to be quiet, so it's about maintaining what you can. We saw them leave a couple guys on base yesterday, 9 to be exact. Didn't really bring in the runners how they should have and how they usually have all season long.
But again, 4 starts for O'Regan, 1-2 record, but a 2.95 ERA coming into today through 21 1/3 innings. 20 strikeouts as well. Just a really impressive season. The only Saints pitcher to be selected to the CCL All-Star Game. Made the trip out there to Reno this past weekend on July 4th. 1-0 count now to James Copeland. Backdoor breaker called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner on first and 1 out.
You mentioned the strikeout numbers. 8 of those strikeouts came in his last outing versus Slow, which was 2 weekends ago. And he did pitch last weekend in the All-Star game. Only pitched 10 pitches, so he's not as warm as usual.
On the ground, through the 5-6 hole into left field. Back-to-back singles from Daniel Pulisic and James Copeland to put 2 runners on.
And just some good contact going on from the Crawdads. And they're going to swing and miss at some stuff from O'Regan, but just kind of waiting on the pitch, letting the bat do the rest, and found a nice spot right past Braden Flores. And he made a diving play for it, but was not able to really get a glove.
And up steps the thump of this Crawdads order. Batting cleanup is Bryden Bull, redshirt freshman at University of Mississippi, otherwise known as Ole Miss. .299 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs this summer. In that lefty-lefty disadvantage against O'Regan, who misses outside with the first offering. But a great spot here for the Crawdads to take an early lead.
You mentioned the disadvantage in the lefty-lefty matchup. That's really all you'll get against Bryden Bull. He's just such a raw player. I mean, the stature he has so much power.
Takes a breaker, missing just a little bit upstairs.
Yeah, just a powerful dude. And I mentioned it yesterday, 6'5", a bit above 200 pounds. Used all of it, has a great arm in center field as well, can play really anywhere. And 4 homers on the year as well for the Crawdads. Has had a player of the week. I mean, he's a premier player.
2-0. O'Regan definitely not trying to give him anything too fat. Goes with the breaker there, and it freezes Bull. So now 2-1 to the cleanup man. Mentioned that 4 home runs. He's got 23 hits, 3 of those being doubles. No triples so far this season, and he's having a really solid season overall.
Yeah, he's putting himself in a good position as well. You mentioned where he goes, Ole Miss, SEC school. Did pretty well in the college postseason this year. So putting himself into a position to be a dangerous player for the Rebels.
Just 1 hit last night in 5 at-bats against the Saints. 1 strikeout as well. O'Regan with a long hold delivers the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Gets past Nishiwa behind home plate. That's as far as it'll go. Can't extend far enough for either Pulisic on second or Coupland on first to extend. Rest of the defensive arrangement for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Left to right in the outfield, Brody Cheer, Brandon Wynn, Carson Panarisi. Around the horn on the infield is Jacob Freer in the hot corner. Braden Flores, Dylan Immel. The men up the middle with Zach Late rocking the trap at first base. 2-2 count to Bryden Bull. Chopped foul, we'll do it again.
And the 2 pitchers that have had the success for Joe have been that breaking ball. Bull swung through one fully and left one just outside, really close pitch. So, you can see him go back to the hole there, especially a lefty breaking ball sweeping across the lefty batter. It's a hard pitch to hit.
2-2 from O'Regan. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the outing. Second out of this top of the first.
That 76-mile-per-hour breaker doing wonders for Joe. And that's also a great job by Nick Nishiwa, knowing that's what's been working that at-bat. And these two have been as much of a battery as you can get in this league. And Nick Nishiwa's caught him in, I believe, 4 of those 5 starts, maybe that 5th one as well. So they've really had a camaraderie.
Not out of the woods yet is O'Regan. As up steps Kevin Parker. He takes strike 1. Parker from Texas Southern University. .226 average, not the highest throughout this Crawdads roster, but still 2 bombs and 15 RBIs as well. So a guy who's used to driving in some base runners, and there's 2 out on second and first for the Crawdads. This one's fouled straight back. First wedgie of the night. Add that one to the tally, and it's 0-2.
Another one yesterday. Getting some help from the fans right behind home plate. Yeah, you never really see them right there at that eye level where you can poke them back out, but that one recovered without needing to throw a baseball at it.
Thank God. We spent half hour out here trying to knock out those ones up top. They get pesky. 0-2. Little low and in. 1-2. Good pitch there from O'Regan, trying to go back foot. 14 hits, with 7 being extra base hits for Parker. So half of his hits being extra base hits. Slugging percentage at .419. That's the 1-2. Running just a little bit inside. Count evens up. 4 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs for Parker this summer. Guy that's definitely willing to stay patient as well. 12 walks and 2 hit by pitches. Deuce is wild. 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 base runners on here in the top of the first. That one running inside again. Count goes full.
With a head 0-2, then, you know, had the pitches to work with, tried to back foot. A lot of stuff inside now. Now it's on Jotun. You know, you do have an extra base open of 2 outs, yes, and he's a guy that can get out of situations, but this is the guy you want to get out in Parker Jr.
Two looks back to second. Payoff pitch on the ground, chopped foul into the Saints dugout. We'll do it again. Base runners on the move. And with a base hit here from Parker, definitely an opportunity to score both with Plasek on second and Coupland on first, both being already in motion. Definitely would easily score Plasek on a base hit. Coupland, extra base hit, likely going to score. But it's up to O'Regan to not allow that to happen. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. O'Regan strikes out the side here in the top of the first. We head scoreless to the home half here on the Saints Streaming Network. Back here for the bottom of the first, Jacob Freer leading things off for the Arroyo Seco Saints. He's followed up by Braden Flores, Zach Late, Brandon Wynn batting cleanup, Cannon King, the designated hitter, batting fifth, Carson Panarisi sixth, and the back third being Brody Cheer, Nick Nishiwa, and Dylan Immel. Against the starting arm for the Walnut Creek Crawdads in Devin James, whose first offering is high and wide to Jacob Freer.
And Devin James, I mentioned it, has a splitter. It's not listed as a splitter, but it's kind of a sinker splitter type of pitch. And sometimes so much gray area between what pitch is what, but it has that splitter action to it. Has that fastball as well. Coming off a great outing as well on his last time up versus the Stompers. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, and 5 strikeouts. So has shown the strikeout stuff and rebounded well from his very first outing of the year versus the Slow Blues, where he gave up 5 earned.
Up 3-0. Behind 3-0. Freer up 3-0 against James. That one right down Broadway for strike 1. Freer, the CCL All-Star, batting .266 with 8 RBIs and 10 runs scored. Committed this summer to Santa Clara.
Yeah, it's been a bit down for Freer those years. I mean, it has the great commitment, but that one smoked. Coming off a summer last year where he was batting over 300 for the Saints. I mean, really showing the bat off. Had a lot of RBIs. Maybe not the same stuff he's really been used to. Also coming off a great year at Azusa Pacific. Got that commitment, yes. Also won for his last 13. So looking to right the ship a bit, too.
Payoff pitch to Freer, swung on and missed. And that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
Heck of a job from James to battle back, get that first strikeout. Both innings start with a strikeout from these starters. Maybe that's a sign of things to come.
Braden Flores, another CCL All-Star this year. 346 the average with 2 bombs and 20 knocked in. Guy who's been consistently good, and he's got that bright blue bat back, baby. I love it. This one's popped straight back over our heads, fouling out of play.
Yeah, mentioned it to Max Langer yesterday, and he didn't notice that the lightsaber bat, but we've talked about it a couple times. It's awesome. I can't think of another word. It's a great.
He started the summer with it, and it disappeared. He changed to a black one or a tan one. I don't remember what the other one was, but now it's back. It fires me up. I love that bright blue bat.
Just pops out. I mean, you can see him from a country mile away.
Quickly ahead 0-2 is Devin James, who delivers, and it's low and away. Flores and really Freer at the top of the order as well. Both guys that bounce around this Saints infield all the time. Guys that play multiple positions, good utility gloves. It's the 1-2 pitch. It's tapped foul. Last night we mentioned a 7-6 victory. Saints walking off the Crawdads in extra innings. First walk-off for the Arroyo Seco Saints since July 10th, 2024 against the Santa Barbara Foresters, where Josh Livingston hit a sac fly. As that pitch is swung on and missed, back-to-back Ks now for Devin James here in the bottom of the first.
Unfortunate for Flores, he sat down, but yeah, he mentioned that walk-off. It was just such a moment to see the team. Again, it hasn't been the easiest of goes for the Saints this entire season, but see someone like Sean Asperger, who's been trending upwards. He's been doing better and better. Get that walk-off hit, especially with how they did of Panarisi getting the bunt on. We'll talk about him when he comes up, but it was just a nice way to do it. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, strong game last night. As the first pitch to Zach Late is high and wide, who's batting .250 with 11 RBIs and 7 runs scored. The third CCL All-Star for the Arroyo Seco Saints and as many batters. Freer, Flores, Late, the 3 offensive All-Stars, with O'Regan, the starting pitcher tonight, being the 1 lone pitching All-Star. 5 outs recorded so far with 5 strikeouts throughout this one tonight.
Yeah, both pitchers, and I was about to say, my apologies, but game full of All-Stars. I mean, Crawdads have a lot on their side as well, so it's exciting.
And, I mean, it has only been 5 outs in this one, but pretty all-star pitching performance from both Devin James and Joe O'Regan. Strikeout, single, single, strikeout, strikeout in the top of the first. Strikeout, strikeout here in the bottom of the first, as this one's on the ground to the right side. Handling it is Cam Taylor, who flips to Devin James for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the first, as we head to the second here in Pasadena.
All right, hello and welcome everyone live from Jackie Robinson Field here in Pasadena. Evan Davis joined alongside Adam Beck, and it's the home opener for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Looks like it will hit into the gap. Yes, it will, and it'll score a run off the glove of Pollock. That will score 2. It's quickly 4-0 top of the first inning for the Oaks. 3-1 offering, low and away for ball 4, and that will bring in the first run of the game. It's outside, ball 4. Fisher stumbling off the mound, and the Saints just finding any way possible to get some runs, and they've now walked in 2. with the Saints as a pass ball gets away. 5-2 lead for the Oaks. 2-1 offering, that one down the third base. Beltowski will fire that one across. And 1 out now, but the runners advance to now be 5-3. First and second as they connect again. Rio didn't get a great read on that, and it's over his head. Ground roll double, and this game is tied. The 1-1 offering is connected on. That's in the left field, and that'll do it. The Saints.
Back here for the second inning of the Arroyo Seco Saints, taking on the visiting Walnut Creek Crawdads. 6 outs recorded in this one, 5 of them being strikeouts. Sutter Moss, Cam Taylor, Elijah Ramos, the 3 due up. Still against Joe O'Regan, who through 1 inning so far has given up 2 hits and 3 Ks. Struck out the side, 2 swinging, 1 looking, as his first pitch is in there to Sutter Moss.
And the hits against Joe O'Regan, I mean, that's something that I think he's kind of accepted of how he pitches, filling up the zone. He's going to give up base hits, and for him, it's about getting out of situations and making things work. And in his last outing versus Slow, it felt like it was his best stuff that he had, and that changeup worked really good. Still gave up a lot of hits.
Called strike 2, 1-2 now the count to Moss. Moss with 13 hits, 6 of which being doubles, 2 of which being home runs. He checks his swing on the outside slider from O'Regan, but holds up. So a guy that's not necessarily all or nothing, still batting .236, but a guy who's consistently found extra base hits throughout the summer as he floats one into center field for a leadoff single.
That one a bit Cody Bellinger-esque. I mean, if you look down, I mean, the reason I say that, I just remember the base hit in that NLDS versus the Giants, getting down there, flicking the bat, kind of using all that strength in the wrist, and that's kind of a talented thing to do for Moss, just letting the hands really go to work and head straight up the middle, getting on base, leading things off.
So up steps Cam Taylor, swings at the first pitch into the ground. First over to second, lead out recorded there by Zach Late. Going to Braden Flores. The fielder's choice allows Cam Taylor to swap spots with Sutter Moss.
Now on just a chopper that was too slow for Late to do much with it. I mean, you could have rushed that play as much as he wanted, but it wouldn't really have made a difference. Good to get that lead out and that lead runner, though. And I'd take Cam Taylor's speed over Sutter Moss's speed if I was, the Saints defense.
So now Elijah Ramos, junior at Cal State East Bay. Takes a called strike 1. Playing for his local summer ball team, Cal State East Bay, obviously up in Northern California in the East Bay with Walnut Creek.
Funnily enough, it's going to be at Bakersfield next year, which is where Joe O'Regan was at last year. So from one former Jackrabbit to a new Jackrabbit. At least I believe that's the mascot.
I actually have no idea what their mascot is. Not proud of it, but man enough to say it. 1-2 the count to Ramos.
That's why we have Google. It's actually a Roadrunner, so my apologies on that. So one former Roadrunner to a new Roadrunner. Both went to Cal State Bakersfield.
Yes, Roadrunner does check out.
Ring a bell?
Yes, it does, now that you say it. Line drive, 1 hopper to Dylan Immel. It kicks off his glove, and he can't find it. That one was scorched off the bat, going the opposite way for for Elijah Ramos. So we'll see the official scoring on it. Looks like it's going to be a reach-on error by the second baseman, Dylan Immel, to put 2 on.
I think what makes that poor from Immel, I mean, that's a hot shot off the bat, and that's a hard thing to field, but he kind of gives up on it and sees that roll under him, doesn't really get on his feet to look towards first and grab the ball. Just not the body language you want after missing something that he has been getting all season long, but it's about regrouping and kind of going to the next one.
Left-handed hitting Shane Aldridge, junior at Menlo College. Once again in the lefty-lefty disadvantage. A lot of left-handed hitters to try and counter the left arm of Joe O'Regan as Aldridge takes strike 1. Aldridge not necessarily having the summer he was hoping for. 13 hits, but in 67 at-bats, which is an average just below that Mendoza line, 194. 16 runs scored, though, so a guy who's definitely capable of getting on base. And if he does get on base, it's not necessarily a guarantee, but there's a very high likelihood that he will come around and score. 6 stolen bases, a guy that flies around the base paths, and is definitely a weapon to have at the bottom of the order so that when the top of the order comes up, the guys that, you know, would stereotypically have the strongest bats in the lineup, they can get some RBIs to their names. Two and one, low and away, 3-1 now to Aldridge.
You mentioned him getting on base, that in the lineup, and a funny stat about him, the Crawdads are 13-2 when he reaches base. So that's something to look out for. If I'm O'Regan, I know that stat. Don't want him on.
Hits it on the ground to Immel, gets redemption, goes to second, over to first, in time for the twin killing to end the top of the second inning. Saints escape cleanly. We head still scoreless to the home half. Four, 5, 6 for the Arroyo Seco Saints here in the bottom of the second inning. Brendan Wynn, Cannon King, Carson Panarisi still going to battle against Devin James, who had a really smooth bottom of the first inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. As his first pitch is pulled on the ground, eating up Cam Taylor at first, but he recovers. High throw. Coming down on the bag is Devin James for another 3-1 putout, back-to-back.
And Wynn ran as hard as he could down, and Devin James, with how tall he is, still had to jump and bring that one back down to earth and on the base paths. So just like that, another out for James brings up King.
King, who, you know, you look at this Arroyo Seco Saints lineup and you wonder, you know, guys who definitely could have made that trip out to Reno for the All-Star game. I think King is sort of your #1 guy that comes to mind. He's been so consistent this entire summer, hitting .317 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. Just a guy that's provided contact and power. He's been at the top of the order, the middle of the order, the bottom of the order, just an all-around strong hitter for the Saints this summer.
I'm a massive fan of Cannon King and what he's done. Very happy for him that he gets to go play ball at UCSD next year. I mean, if you're looking at those guys, him and Evan Wright are the 2 that really stand out, as these are 2 guys that, you know, maybe with another vote or 2, they're there at the All-Star game. So really fine margins, but it's really about, I think, responding to that, and I think he's done a solid job. He just puts great swings on the ball, and the velocity coming off the bat, it's ridiculous.
1-2 on the ground, foul at first base. King with a 317 average, a 431 on base percentage, and a 583 slugging percentage.
That's slugging.
I mean, you look at those numbers, and I mean, this guy just all out hits. And 10 RBIs, 10 walks, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. He fights off another 1-2 pitch, and this one floats high and away. Now 2-2 to the designated hitter for Arroyo Seco tonight. And also a guy who I've mentioned this before, but he's got my vote for the best walk-up song on the team.
We talk about this a lot, walk-up songs, and which one you like. Cannon King's always the first one.
Cannon King always pops to
mind.
mind. 2-2, called strike 3. Low inside corner goes Devin James for his 3rd strikeout of the start.
I mean, I saw that one a bit low. Definitely a close pitch. I mean, I remember yesterday there were a couple calls that got later into the game. Things got a little bit tense because some guys on either side thought was in, thought was out. That one I maybe would have taken I don't know. I don't blame King for taking a glance on that. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, definitely a pitcher's pitch there. Tough one to handle for King, but he goes down and up steps Carson Panarisi. Takes an excuse me swing at the 0-1. The count moves 0-2.
Panarisi hitting 270, but the success lately, it's been mixed. But I think a great moment he had yesterday was he's a guy that typically swings really hard and has a lot of power in that bat. Laid down a bunt to put the runner in scoring position. That's something like laying down a bunt, sacrifice bunt, that ends up scoring the run. That fires me up. That's something that makes me so happy because it's selfless ball and it's just helping the team win and helping your guy behind you put him in the best spot possible.
I agree. You know, offensive execution just it doesn't get the respect that it likely deserves.
Absolutely not.
You know, you get those guys who do put down those bunts. Those guys are the guys that get the MVP of the game type votes, even though it's not, you know, really a actual thing, but it should be. I mean, I think there should be an MVP of every game.
I mean, I'm sure within the group and, you know, in our minds, we know who our players of the games are, and I think he's a guy that's just a great play to do. And, I mean, in modern baseball, bunting has kind of been whittled away. Everyone wants to swing for the fences, and, I mean, I'd like to hit a 450-foot bomb as well, but I'd also like to bring my guy over 90 feet to then score the winning run.
Payoff pitch, chopper to Kevin Parker. Takes it deep in the hole, long throw in time to get Panarisi at first base. Back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings as we head to the 3rd inning here in Pasadena. Entering the 3rd inning here from Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, Riley Horn alongside Dylan DeCesare. On behalf of our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey, thanks for tuning in You're on the Saints streaming network as it's the top of the Walnut Creek Crawdads order. TJ Woodson, who lays down a bunt. Long run in for Freer, and he's not going to have a play at first base. Just like we were talking about just a couple pitches ago, the bunts.
That just perfectly executed. You're just not expecting that first pitch. I think someone like Joe is a guy you could square a bunt on. You're expecting him to always be in the zone, especially first pitch. Saw it really well, and Woodson is in the leadoff for a reason. He has speed going down.
Crawdads with at least a base hit per half inning on offense so far through this one. 2 in the first, 1 an inning ago in the second, and a leadoff bunt single for TJ Woodson here in the third. Couple pickoff looks. This one skips away from Zach late into foul territory, and moving up 90 feet is TJ Woodson.
Tried to whip it too much mustard. Saw that guy now going 90 feet closer to home. Yeah, that's something that's going to be on Joe's mind, but at the same time, he's a work through. Every pitch is different. Leave pitches in the past, and I mean, that's just how you have to be.
That one going down is an error on the first baseman, Zach Late. Daniel Pulasic singled his first time up, now with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Left-handed hitter just looking to, at the very least, pull a ball on the right side, get it on the ground, move that base runner up to third base with just 1 out.
Finding ways to score guys. That's all you need to do. And, I mean, having that, Crawdads had that first lead yesterday, didn't end up holding it, but being first, being aggressive early, especially with how James is pitching, it could be the recipe for success today.
Called strike with the fastball. Oregon using a lot of the off-speed in these lefty-lefty matchups. Handful of left-handed hitters in this Crawdads lineup. So when you use, you know, that first pitch breaking ball like he did here against Pulisic and then goes to that fastball on the outer edge, it's really effective. This one once again floated into center field, down for a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home. Throw in from Wynn is way offline. Gets all the way to the backstop. Pulisic moving up to second base. And the Crawdads take a 1-0 lead.
As you mentioned, the breaking ball, that's a great hit from Pulasic. Saw that one in, goes to left center, rather shallow left center, and too much wind under that throw, went to the backstop end. There's not that really bad of a run to give up, especially with how the Crawdads manufactured it.
Pulasic now 2 for 2, single and an RBI single, advancing up to second base on the throw in from Brandon Wynn in center field. Up steps James Coupland, the other guy with a single in the first inning, who takes a called strike 1.
Joe still searching for that first out of the inning as well. That's on his mind. Also has those 3 strikeouts today, but didn't get any in the last inning.
This one's fouled off by Coupland, and it goes 0-2. And Oregon's a guy up on the mound who, you know, works with really solid pace and kind of doesn't matter the situation either. He keeps that pace, and he's such a composed pitcher up on the mound. You know, he's never showing too much body language. He always keeps it relatively the same up on the mound, no matter, you know, the situation he's in or what the offense has done to him. As you can see it right there, gets a swing and a miss strikeout of James Coupland.
That's his 4th strikeout of the game. As I was mentioning, the strikeout ball, it's been his success today. I mean, I think Joe Regan's a guy that just would have a great poker face with how calm, composed, as you're saying, keeps that good pace, and it's pretty quick as well. I mean, does have to do his due diligence, check the runner at second, make sure and keep him honest, but knows what is at hand going to the catcher.
That one just a little bit outside on the first offering to Bryden Bull. Another lefty, victim of one of the 3 strikeouts in the first inning. Now ahead 1-0. Guy who, like we mentioned his first time up, really a heartbeat of this Crawdads offense. He takes now a called strike on the outer edge. Average dropping a little bit, came into today 299. An 0-for-1 performance so far today drops that down, but 4 home runs, 3 doubles, 15 RBIs, and 17 runs scored. A guy who really can do it all offensively. Check back at second from O'Regan. Plenty of time for Pulasic to dive back.
And Bull going and getting that only one hit yesterday. And, I mean, it's just not very usual for him. And, again, a guy that's very talented with the bat, redshirt freshman. You just see it all on display all the time. Was an all-star as well in the CCL North. I think the fear of one of these guys is if he just gets a hold of a pitch, he could send it wherever he wants. I mean, look out right field if you got to think about it. But saw one yesterday that had a solid off the bat, but just high.
Called strike 2. O'Regan evens it up. And Bryden Bowl, a guy, we kind of talked about this before the game started, but a couple of really strong names in this Crawdads offense. Bryden Bowl, definitely one of them.
Bryden Bowl, I could be my favorite one on this offense. I mean, talked about, wow, great pitch right there. We talked about yesterday Thornberry for the Crawdads. That's a great last name. But despite the last name, Bull does go down there. Great pitch from Joe.
Goes to that off speed, gets a swing and a miss. Now has struck out Bull twice and done a great job of limiting that heartbeat of this Crawdads offense. 2K so far for him. And up steps Kevin Parker, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout of his own. O'Regan looking to strand a runner at second base. Done a great job bouncing back. Gave up back-to-back singles. TJ Woodson scoring on the one from Pulasic. So 1-0 Crawdads, but since then it's been back-to-back strikeouts for Joe O'Regan. He's now up to 5 on the outing. So he's going to take a spaghetti move back to second base, but not throw it. Want to know the count to Parker. Rising senior at Texas Southern University. He swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Something's been working, making him, be more of a strikeout guy, getting a lot more whiffs in these last 2 outings. I think he's just been building himself up and then has that commitment from Nevada. And I'm thinking is, will he go kind of 7 innings where he has gone, or will it be scaled back a bit because he has a commitment, maybe a number of pitches could be down?
Yeah, you normally see that in summer ball. Guys who enter the portal, they come in and then they find that new home for the upcoming season. Then they're kind of put on a little bit of a limit, and it's maybe a total pitch limit. Sometimes it's an innings limit. Sometimes it's a game or appearance or start limit, however you want to phrase it. And we'll see what happens tonight, but for the most part, O'Regan been a guy who's had that longevity throughout all of his starts, going, at almost a minimum of 4 innings, I believe, throughout all of his starts. Guy can, get up into the 7th inning if he'd like to. So I think it just kind of depends on how he's feeling for the day and how his new Wolfpack coaches are going to feel. So he delivers the 2-2, and it's low and in. Count goes full.
Yeah, it really is. All those coaches kind of decide what's for him. But, I mean, Joe's talked about it. He came here to be a Saint to, fight for a spot on a college roster. And he's got that spot. And he's the type of guy that wants to be playing as much as he can, be throwing as much as he can. He loves what he does. I mean, I would, too, if I was as good as him.
That one's inside. First walk issued by Joe O'Regan as Kevin Parker reaches first base with 2 outs.
And that's one of Joe O'Regan's least favorite things to do. And, I mean, every pitcher, but the free pass for him is something that kind of grinds his gears. He'll take a second, look at his infield, and he's already set. Sutter Moss did have a single on him last time up, but we'll go at him here.
Pulasic on second, Parker on first. Sutter Moss singled back in the 2nd inning, now up with 2 on and 2 out. Sutter Moss, another guy with a really strong name.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we talked about it. Sutter Moss.
We talked about it pregame.
That's a
strong name.
Amazing. I mean, name Hall of Fame.
1-0 to Moss, and that one's low and in. Not sure if you can see it on our cameras, but Kevin Parker over on first base has his hips fully turned towards second base. He's, well, maybe not anymore now that I said it, but
He heard you.
that previous pitch, I mean, he's fully facing second base, doesn't have a thought in the world about first base. And with a lefty on the mound, Saints could run a tricky back pick over to first and likely have a free out, although looks like his hips are a little more neutralized now as that one's down in the dirt to Sutter Moss, and the count goes 3-0.
Some great analysis from you. Looking at the runner, seeing where the hips are kind of facing. I mean, Zach Late's looking off the bag, but you never know if he gets some pep in his step and then gets there. Something to definitely keep an eye out for.
Yeah, but it looks like Parker's now a little bit more neutral. He's gotten in full counts both times and had opposite results. Backwards K and a walk, and he's over on first. As the 3-0 pitch catches the outer edge of the zone on Sutter Moss. Daniel Pulisic still on second after he singled with an RBI and advanced on the throw home. That would score TJ Woodson. Three and one, called strike two. Count runs full. Runners now going to be in motion with 2 gone.
Last time Joe was in his position, 2 outs, had 2 strikeouts in the inning. He struck out Kevin Parker Jr., who is the man currently on first base. But he's dealt with some trouble this game so far in the base paths. But again, Joe usually gets out of it.
Runners go, low and away, ball 4. Bases now loaded with 2 gone. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, already a run scored for the Crawdads, and they're looking to make it more.
It will be a conversation between Joe, the infield, and Matt Stone. Wouldn't be seeing the bullpen here, and it's definitely just a conversation with, you know, run came in, gave up 2 hits now, walked 2 in a row. Maybe trying to overthrow something, and I think the thing I've seen from Joe is that fastball hasn't really been as sharp today, hasn't been landing in. When it's really on, he's landing at top of the zone, arm side run as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's still looking relatively strong up on the mound. And, you know, now through his 8 outs recorded, 5 of them have been strikeouts. The other 2 been ground outs, one being the fielder's choice, who came from Cam Taylor back in the 2nd inning, and the inning double play back in that 2nd inning. But since then, the 1st and the 3rd inning have been all strikeouts for those 5 outs in those 2 innings. Now with a single and back-to-back walks to put the bases loaded, Cam Taylor is going to look to extend the Crawdads' lead. The first pitch is a called strike on the outer edge.
Continues to go with kind of breaking and off-speed pitches on the outer part of the plate to the lefties. He's gotten a lot of head turns from these Crawdads players, but they're placed well. Joe also has an out at every base as well.
Buckled him up there with the off-speed, and the count moves 0-2 on Cam Taylor.
What a breaking ball as well. That was made him kind of pack up a little bit. Just great breaker sweep in action. Land him perfectly.
Ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Pulisic gonna score. Throw goes into third base, cut off by Freer, and now they've got Taylor in a bit of a pickle. Staying on third base is Parker. He breaks for the plate. Saints are gonna try to get the out at first, and they do, but both runs will score. Coming around is Parker and Moss. Cam Taylor out at first base. And the Crawdads go up 3-0 as we head to the second half of the 3rd.
All right, hello and welcome everyone live from Jackie Robinson Field here in Pasadena. Evan Davis joined alongside Adam Beck, and it's the home opener for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Looks like it will hit into the gap. Yes, it will, and it'll score a run off the glove of Pollock. That will score 2. It's quickly 4-0 top of the 1st inning for the Oaks. 3-1 offering, low and away for ball 4, and that will bring in the first run of the games outside. Ball 4. Fisher stumbling off the mound. Saints just finding any way possible to get some runs, and they've now walked in 2 with the Saints as a pass ball gets away. 5-2 lead for the Oaks. 2-1 offering that one down the third base. Beltowski will fire that one across. And 1 out now, but the runners advance to now be 5-3. On first and second as they connect again. Rio did get a great read on that, and it's over his head. Ground roll double, and this game is tied. The 1-1 offering is connected on. That's in the left field, and that'll do it. The Saints come back down 5-2, and Peter Wirth walks it off.
How about a 4 spot by the Oaks to start things off in the first inning? And how about a 4 spot in the bottom of the ninth for the Saints to end things in the 9th inning? What a game for the Saints.
Back here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, I'll correct myself. Going to break, I said 3-0. It's actually 4-0. As I forgot how many base runners were on base. It was a bases-loaded situation for Cam Taylor, who got 2 RBIs, but all 3 runs would score. So the Crawdads are up 4-0 as we head to the home half of the 3rd inning, with the bottom third due up for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Brody Cheer, Nick Nishiwa, Dylan Immel. As the Saints are still hitless so far today, 6 up, 6 down, 3 Ks, and 3 groundouts. This one's popped up, fouling out of play, and it's 0-2 on Cheer.
And in this point, yesterday, rather in the 4th inning, Saints were down 3-0, then put a run up, and then end up falling back down to 5-1. So they came back yesterday to win 7-6. Definitely not anywhere near over yet.
Back foot breaker there from Devin James. Got Cheer to think about it, but he holds up. So now 1-2. On the new Saint, just 5 at-bats so far this summer. 2 hits, though, with a double and a run scored. James delivers the 1-2. It's just down below the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's kind of a guy that has leadoff hitter tendencies, stole a lot of bags at McLennan last year as JUCO in the north of Texas. Has that speed.
Swung on and missed. He goes down swinging for out number 1 here in the 3rd inning.
That was a gross splitter. Just off speed of sorts. Just in the dirt going down. That was tough for Cheer. Took his head completely off of it. Wanted all of it. Very tantalizing pitch, but just broke right at the barrel.
Up steps Nick Nishiwa, who behind the plate for Arroyo Seco has been really solid all summer long, and from the plate has been even better. 367 with 2 RBIs and 10 runs.
Don't believe Nishiwa's yet qualified, but if he was, he'd be 1st or 2nd in average on the team. So just great bat-to-ball skills. Sends it a lot of the time through the middle as well. Just really simple with it. You're not going to see loud base hits, but he'll get on base.
First at-bat of the day for him is 1-1 pitch is a little bit outside. And Nishiwa, you know, a guy that you'd love to have in this order for Arroyo Seco is, you know, you often look at the catching position as more of a defensive spot. You know, you need a guy back there who, you know, can frame pitches, block pitches, you know, save runs defensively. But then when you got a guy who can swing it as well, it's just an added bonus. And a guy like Nishiwa has done both sides of the ball incredibly
absolutely
this summer. I mean, it's really fun to watch. A good catcher both sides is, you know, a really exciting thing to see in baseball, and Nishiwa's been exactly that.
He's kind of learned a bit from Cam Andrews. I mean, we've talked about it, the veteran in Andrews, the youngster, quote-unquote, I'm the same age as the guy at the play in Nick Nishiwa. But he's really great calling a game as well. I mean, he knows his guys, gets to, you know, come out here on Saturdays, today, a Thursday with Joe O'Regan. So someone you trust both sides of the ball and trust him to get on base there, does the job. He's on first.
Full count walk to Nick Nishiwa, first base runner of the day for the Arroyo Seco Saints, as up steps Dylan Immel, batting .313 with 3 RBIs and 7 runs scored. First pitch to Immel in there. Immel been a guy who had a lot of the season, and since then has kind of been on an on-off type schedule, 1 or 2 games on, 1 or 2 games off. And he's found his way into the lineup tonight, batting in the 9 hole at second base. He's got 1 runner on and 1 out as he takes a hack and fouls it straight back.
I mean, he's going to be a guy that will continue to swap places with Sean Asperger. I mean, with Zach Late, Jacob Freer, and Brayton Flores in the infield, 3 all-stars, it's becoming a little bit crowded. And Immel, something he has going for him, he can play everywhere in the infield. I wouldn't be surprised if he could play somewhere in the outfield as well. I mean, he's a utility guy.
0-2 pitch down low. Good stop behind the dish from Copeland. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm sure, a challenge for this Saints coaching staff to find a way to get all these infielders who, you know, have been swinging it really well into the lineup. You know, you mentioned guys like Freer and Flores and Late, 3 all-stars. You got guys like Immel and Asperger who have been swinging it really well. Asperger with that walk-off hit in last night's game against the Crawdads. I mean, it's just got to be such a challenge to juggle these guys who have been swinging it really well, getting them all into a lineup. I would imagine it's not been an easy process going day by day for Arroyo Seco. 1-2, chopped foul at first.
And add to that list, I mean, guys like Owen Mangini that, you know, the average hasn't been where he's really wanted it, but when he makes contact, he flies it wherever, has a amazing velocity, and just hits the ball really hard. Ball comes flying off the bat, so add him to there. Bryce Robinette, saw him pinch run yesterday. It's about maybe 8, 9 guys, I don't know if my math's correct, that can play everywhere in the infield and can just do a job.
Ground ball to the second baseman Ramos, to short to first, and a 4-6-3 double play ends the frame. Once again, facing the minimum is Devin James. He's through 3 scoreless so far. As we head to the 4th inning here on the Saints streaming network. Back in Pasadena here on the Saints streaming network for our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey. I'm Riley Horn alongside Dylan DeCesare, who was here to talk you through the 4 through 6 innings. Dylan, take it away.
Thank you, Riley. Joe Regan back out for this 4th inning. Gave up those 4 runs in the last set. And looking to face 8, 9, and 1 in Elijah Ramos. Shane Aldridge and TJ Woodson starts off. First pitch, ball to Ramos. Reached on an error from Immel last time up. Over to short. Flores scooping to the right. Across the diamond. In time. Heck of a play by Braden Flores.
Oh, man. I mean, that is an all-star play right there by Braden Flores, making it look easy, going across his body, throwing all the way against his momentum and making it happen on a pretty good throw over to Zach late. Great first out recorded there by Joe Regan with some help with his defense.
I mean, he's a guy that can play everywhere in the infield. I've seen him play every single place besides first, and I think short has been a spot that he's really held down great. That one out to the left under his cheer. So 2 quick outs. Shane Aldridge flying that one out. Goes to 0 for 2 on the day.
And that's, exactly what O'Regan is looking for. You go the first and the second inning, there's some traffic on the base paths, but none come across. Then a 4 spot in the third inning, the Crawdads were able to cash in on a couple ducks out on the pond, but now you come back and you get 2 outs in just 4 pitches. That's what makes O'Regan so effective as a starter, is he's got that goldfish mindset, the 5-second memory, whatever happens, you don't let that stick with you.
Ever watch Ted Lasso?
I have not, but it's been on my list for so long, and I really want to watch it.
You got to get that. That's a big thing in the show. Be
Yeah.
a goldfish.
Really?
I mean, yeah. That one, straight up. Joe being a goldfish and going quick through this inning, leaving the past in the past, moving forward well. Now heading to the bottom of the frame. Saints down 4-0. Bottom of the 4th, Saints down 4-0, and Devin James putting together a great performance. Only allowed 1 base runner and got off the base paths last inning due to a double play. I mean, he just been pitching lights out and fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he's been facing the minimum. He's faced the minimum now through 3 innings full with 4 strikeouts, just 1 walk, surrendered that 1 walk being the only base runner for the Saints.
Freer out to right. That one towards the wall. Back. Is it gone? Jacob Freer sees all of right. They eat into it. 100 off the bat.
Just one that went up, tickled a cloud, and came back down over the fence. That one was up there for a while. A lot of exit angle on that, launch angle rather, but even more exit velocity to get that one over the fence. That's what the Saints need, coming back around for the second time through this one. And, that second time through the order is really where the offense starts to wake up, and it does exactly that on the first pitch.
Freer just homered to lead things off, giving the Saints a bit of life now. Saw in the 4th where they got 1 run on slightly different circumstances, but get across nonetheless. Now is Braden Flores. Following him will be Zach Late to go against, again, Devin James. An unblemished day. Just came to a close. Still out there, yes, but did give up that homer to Flores. See that one inside and showing all his athleticism, and it makes sense. Comes from an athletic family. Goes to Sac State. His mother's a graduate from there. His cousin, Audrey, played for Sac State women's soccer 2013-16, but that is not the premier soccer player in the family. His uncle, actually, Troy Dayak, play professionally for the San Jose Earthquakes. Back then was called the San Jose Clash. Was an inaugural team in the MLS, which the Clash actually in 2005 ended up becoming the Houston Dynamo. The kind of a situation where the Earthquakes came back, took kind of that Clash history, and the Clash ended up being the Dynamo expansion team. But Troy Dayak played for that team, was a great player, late 90s, and was forced to kind of almost retire, was really close, suffered a brutal neck injury, ACL tear at the same time, 2-year road to recovery. Then 2003, Troy Dayak for the Clash came back and scored a golden goal winner in 2003 to send San Jose to the MLS Cup final. Braden Flores walks. And in the MLS Cup final, they beat the LA Galaxy, which play just south of here in Carson. And Troy Dayak ended up retiring in 2005, but also brought home Comeback Player of the Year in that season. So having a guy like that in your family, that shows resilience, and knows his Uncle Troy will always tell him the stories. Brings up Zach Late now after Braden Flores walks. James in the first trouble he's had all day. Late finds outfield grass. Flores rounding second. He'll go to third, and he'll be there comfortably. Runners on the corners now with no out for the Saints.
And, you know, you go essentially 9 up, 9 down, a walk, but then a double play to face the minimum for Devin James. You get to that second time through the order, and that's when you start to get, you know, a bit of a gauge for how James is pitching guys in certain situations and how, you know, the kind of pitches he's throwing. And, you know, the Saints have been able to really take advantage of that second time through the order. 3 hitters up in this half inning, and all 3 getting on base.
Brings up Brandon Wynn. Goes out to right. That one carrying. Gets down. Home to the wall. Ground rule double. That will bring in 1 run. Maybe robbed of a second. But another RBI on the young Saints career of Brandon Wynn. And boy, has he been good. So now the game goes to 5-2. Got the Crawdads striking in that top of the inning, or rather, I wonder if I'm wrong. I do believe it should be 4-2. Yes, it is 4-2, so it appears at the scoreboard in center field. Isn't syncing up. There's in right, but a meeting now for Devin James as Cannon King awaits with a runner on third and second.
Yeah, and I mean, the Saints, the approach has really been come out aggressive here in this 4th inning against Devin James, who was really strong through the first 3 innings, like we've mentioned plenty of times. But the home run by Jacob Freer, the single by Zach Late, who's now on third base, and the ground rule double by Brandon Wynn have all been on the first pitch of their at-bat. So they're coming out aggressive. They're coming out hungry, ready to hit. And, I mean, yeah, you mentioned it, but Wynn definitely robbed of another RBI there with that ball kicking up over the fence. And, yeah, to your point, he's come in and been incredibly, incredibly strong. Late arrival to the Saints this summer, but averaged well above 300 with, you know, now more RBIs up to double digits and a couple home runs. Good pop in the bat, a guy who's been really strong in this middle portion of the order.
Started his Saints career batting at the bottom of the lineup, which, you know, makes some sense. Didn't really see much of him, but quickly found himself in the 4-hole and doing damage. Another RBI on the career of Brandon Wynn will bring up Cannon King. Struck out last time up and won that first pitch aggressive, but swung fully through. Swings through the second one as well, goes down 0-2. Adrenaline probably pumping for Cannon King. Will be an awesome thing here just to get all these RBIs, get these runs in very quick succession. Oh, 2 set for King following the meeting with James on the mound. King swings through. James, a strikeout in a big spot.
Yeah, that's where, you know, you look at that mound meeting and you think, yeah, that's definitely what James was needing in that situation. I mean, 4 straight base runners allowed, and then you come back and you get a 3-pitch strikeout. Definitely doing a very good job bouncing back after a little bit of trouble for James. I mean, came into this half inning on a no-hitter. I mean, only through 3 innings, so, you know, you got to give a little bit more leeway before you officially sort of announce that it's kind of a no-hitter alert. We didn't say anything, didn't apply the broadcaster's jinx.
We're not going to do
but,
that.
you know, now we can say something. Giving up leadoff homer, walk, single, ground rule double, but does a good job bouncing back there for the strikeout.
Well, better way to bounce back than a strikeout. Even better on 3 straight pitches. Now Carson Panarisi up, grounded to the shortstop last time up. Slightly different situation now. Has 2 runners in scoring position, 90 and 180 feet away respectively. 1-0. Panarisi swings through early on that breaker. Seems like James kind of has his mojo back now, just finding these pitches. Count is 1-1 though. Would not want to leave these 2 runners on. Be big for the momentum. Panarisi now lands in for a strike. 1-2 now, 1 out for James. Carson Panarisi, a guy that swings the bat hard. Chops it. Foul. We'll go again. Corners of the infield playing a bit in, knowing there could be a play at home with Late ready to bear down. Also be aware of Wynn, who's standing at second. James focused on home. Panarisi, flied, out to right center. Under it is Bull, late, he'll go. Both runners will tag, throw over to third, not in time, runner scores. So Panarisi, a sac fly for him. Makes the game 4-3 now.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about this in Panarisi's first time up. The guy who laid down that bunt last night, which helps lead to that walk-off win. More offensive execution, keeps it going, takes a selfless play, gets in a 2-strike count, and still is able to get a good enough swing off to get that sacrifice fly, score another run. Now the Saints down to just 1-run deficit.
4-3 now. Brody Cheer struck out last time up. Second full game as a Saint. Third game appearing. Did come in on Tuesday, but in his first week, and they've been waiting for his arrival. Committed to Nebraska next year. Cheer swings fully through. Gets away, though. Brandon Wynn. Great slide safe under the tag. It's tied 4-4. The Saints go down early again, but come back and tie it again.
Yeah, and we're still really early into this game. I mean, the Saints have responded perfectly, you know, giving up a 4 spot in the top of the third, bouncing back with a 4 spot here in the bottom of the fourth. Just a great job offensively making things happen.
Brody Cheer, after that wild pitch, no one to bring home. Have to play more of a leadoff role here and get things going again, but Crawdads have now given up that 4-0 lead as Cheer fouls that one off. And now it's 4-4. And had a rough loss on Tuesday. The Saints had one to the Bombers, and since going against the Crawdads in these last 2 days, it kind of felt like a different team, really stepping up to the occasion versus a big opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, they've started to now really see, we've seen a lot of offensive awakening from the Saints early on in games. I mean, it consistently through the first half of the season before the All-Star game, you know, the offense was there and the Saints had a really, really strong offense, but it was more towards, you know, the later innings and the back half of games. Now, you know, more recently they've been able to, you know, get that offense started more early on, and they do it through the second time through here.
James, Cheer, hits it over to second, fielded cleanly from Ramos. And James finds a way out of the inning, but not before giving up 4 runs. Things are level at 4-4 here in Pasadena. New ball game going in the 5th. Top of the 5th, due up for the Crawdads, trying to get back this lead. Daniel Pulasic, Joe Copeland, and Bryden Bull going against Joe O'Regan, who had some trouble in the 3rd and then came back out the exact next inning, 6 pitches.
Yeah, 3 up, 3 down, going 2 pitches per batter. I mean, you can't ask for a better bounce back than that.
Absolutely not. As O'Regan starts off with a ball to Pulasic, a single and a double, brought home an RBI with that double. Now went in for a strike to the lefty, so lefty-lefty matchup as well. 1-1 from Joe. That's a low breaker, won't land. Just surpassed the 70 pitch mark, now it's 71 pitches with that one. So we'll see if he goes another inning after this. 2-1 turns to 2-2. 4 quick pitches. It's even at 2 for Pulasic. Now and outside, count goes full. Swift at bat here for the man from UC Irvine.
I mean, we've mentioned it, just O'Regan working with a lot of pace up on the mound.
Above the head of Pulasic, walks the batter, and she will go hand the ball, or rather lightly toss it to Joe to give him a bit of time and maybe have a conversation, but leadoff runner gets on for the Crawdads.
Yeah, 3rd walk of the day for O'Regan. I mean, he's been strong. You know, there's been just that 1 inning back in the 3rd that's hasn't worked out in his favor since then. I mean, he's done a good job. Been a couple base runners on here and there, but, you know, we mentioned it earlier. He stays composed. He goes and he gets the outs.
Now one popped up on the infield, waiting towards late, grabs it. First out right there. O'Regan get another pop up to late for this first out.
Yeah, and I mean, you might not believe me, but what I was about to say was he goes and he gets the outs and he bounces back really well. He does that again right there, you know, gives up the leadoff walk and then goes and gets a lazy pop out. You know, that's sort of the name of his game, is just having that strong mentality.
Pushes forward like no one else. Runner goes, throw down. Won't be successful as Nishiwa. That ball gets away from him, so stolen base for Pulasic. He'll be 180 feet away. Crawdads have made the most of their opportunities since that first inning, where they left 2 on. Then in the 3rd, start again those runners across to put up 4. 2 4-run innings are all the scoring. 1 4-run inning for the Crawdads, 1 4-run inning for the Saints. 1 ball now to Bryden Bull. Swings through. 1-1. Struck out the last 2 times up as well. And that's kind of a thing. I mean, do you think when you know you can swing for the fence, you have so much power, do you think that gets you in too much of a swing mode where you don't want to take a pitch and you want to just kind of break the game open with 1 swing?
In this scenario, I doubt it. You know, you have a runner in scoring position already, so it's not like you need a home run to score him. You know, you can just get a base hit that will likely score him. So, you know, I think it's just, you know, see ball, hit ball, try and hit a ball hard and, you know, get it to the outfield and score that run.
1-2 to Bull. Chop back up to O'Regan. Gloves it. Heck of a play from Joe. Backhand leaping over to first. Gives a little fist bump of completion. Runner does advance, so he's 90 feet away from home, but 2 outs, and that's a theatric play from Joe.
Yeah, Bull just hit it straight into the ground, super high chop. And climbing the ladder is O'Regan there, getting all the way up, full extension, and getting the glove on it to get the out himself.
O'Regan flashing the leather, so to speak. 2 outs now. Now one dipping below the zone. 1-0 to Kevin Parker Jr. Struck out and walked today. Yesterday, went 1 for 4 with a walk. One of those hits being a triple. And he showed scorching speed on that triple as well, rounding the bases at a quick pace. So if this is in play, it's going to have to be a heads-up play from everyone involved. 1-1, 2 outs. Parker Jr. swings through. 1-2 goes the count. Classic at third. 1-2. 2 outs. Just low. Joe made a lunge for the home dugout. Had to retreat back, and we'll go for another one as it's deuces wild.
I mean, good pitch there by Joe. I mean, you know, he's using all of his pitches, using a great mix, keeping, you know, these hitters off balance. They're leaving the bat on the shoulder pretty often.
Count goes full now. The runner 90 feet away. Parker Jr. leaves it inside. Three-two. Parker Jr. takes his walk. Runners now at the corners. 2 outs. Awaiting Sutter Moss, who's about to come to bat.
Good at bat there with 2 outs for Kevin Parker Jr., you know, finding his way on base. Now with runners on the corners, it does open up the potential to try and do a first-third play, although with 2 outs, not likely. You're just going to give up that last out on the base pass just to score 1 run when you can try and get a 2-out rally.
Errant throw towards the outfield. A run will score, and a runner will go to third. Throw not in time. Errant throws galore. That final one, the nail in the coffin, that scores the run. Crawdads take the lead 5-4.
Yeah, just a not ideal situation. You have that free out, that last out on the base pass to get you out of the inning, and then, you know, tough turn of events. And the Crawdads retake the lead, but, you know, it kind of goes to what we were just saying where, you know, you like to extend the rally.
So with that, Kevin Parker Jr., who walked, was able to advance all the way to third, so another runner 90 feet away. Pulaski, who walked, able to get all the way, so he advanced a second on an error. Late, backhand, fair, will get the put out, but his error is what had the run score from third. Scores 5-4 going to the bottom of the frame.
My name is Trotter Enright. I play baseball at Long Beach State. I'm a freshman shortstop, and I'm from Newbury Park, California.
What about baseball draws you in that way?
Yeah, just the failure, honestly, like the constant drive and want to be like perfect. You know, like you always want those four days. You always want those days where you don't make an error. Like you always, you know, want to get better. Like you're always not good enough.
47. Get through this one.
It has been my life, you know, sacrificing days off and days on, you know, like putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this, you know, like, because at the end of the day, I want this to be my career, you know, so I take it pretty seriously and, you know, do everything I can to win and put myself in the best situation possible for real.
Bottom of the fifth, Saints down 5-4 due to an error from Zach Light. Nick Nishiwa will lead things off. Following him will be Dylan Immel, then back to the top of the order, and Jacob Freer. A new pitcher into the game as well. This for one for the Crawdads, it's Noah Zirkle.
Yeah, Devin James, his day is done. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, with 5 strikeouts and 2 walks as he hands it off now to Zirkle for the 8-9-1 spots of the Arroyo Seco Saints. Zirkle with 5 appearances this summer, all coming from the bullpen. 5 in the 3rd innings pitched with 3 strikeouts and an ERA at 8.44. And a 1-0 record. Picked up that win in his last outing back on July 1st. Got the win in just 2/3 of an inning against the Sonoma Stompers.
That one up the middle, Nishiwa. No, it will be grabbed by short. The shortstop, Kevin Parker Jr., my apologies. Heck of a play by Parker Jr. I saw so much broad daylight down the middle, but he erased that gap quickly.
Yeah, broken bat there by Nishiwa. Got it way off the end. Not hit all too well, but, you know, scoots under the feet of Zirkle on the mound, but just not hard enough to get into center field. And again, you mentioned it, great play there by Parker, ranging all the way over and making the throw on the run.
Up steps Dylan Immel. Ground into double play last time, 4-6-3. The Crawdads went. It's the 5th double play they've turned in these 2 days. So sure-handed as ever in the infield, especially up the middle between the second baseman Ramos and Parker Jr. Immel, second leadoff spot like he has been for a lot of the season. Now and head into the backstop. Count goes 1-0. You mentioned Zirkle's struggles in the CCL, 8.44 ERA, but he's coming off a great season at Cal State East Bay. Lands that one outside. 2.7 ERA in those 6 appearances. 13 and a 3rd innings pitched. 10 strikeouts, 6 walks, holding batters to a 170 batting average. My apologies, the count now 3-1. Takes a walk as Immel. 4 straight pitches, all balls. Flip the lineup card over to Jacob Freer, who homered on the first pitch he saw last time up.
Yeah, Freer coming up now. You mentioned 1 for 2 with a home run on the first pitch back in the 4th. And really took his time to ease into this one. Gets into a full count at bat against Devin James. Ends up going down swinging, but then bounces right back. Comes up aggressive. And we'll see if he takes that aggressive approach again.
Freer into center. That one staying in the yard. Loud contact. Sends Brian Bull a couple steps back. Will be out number 2, though.
Yeah, so, you know, he does look to take that aggressive approach as it worked out for him last time. This time, though, you know, you got a runner on first base who just reached on a 4-pitch walk. You know, I think you'd rather stay patient in that scenario, try and force Zirkle to get back into the zone after he's thrown 6 pitches before facing Freer, and 5 of which had been balls.
Now up Braden Flores, a walk and a strikeout today. Yesterday got 2 hits, breaking an 0-for-12 slump. Then had the day off Tuesday. And came back in the lineup yesterday and then reinstated himself back, or rather, I think still second in the average leaderboard. Freer going to second. Throw is too low, so that'll be stolen base for Jacob Freer. Rather, not Jacob Freer, my apologies, Dylan Immel. I'm all over the place this inning.
Happens.
Yeah, we'll
Happens.
We'll battle back.
We've been there. Got to be like Joe Reagan, bounce back.
Be a
You know what I mean?
goldfish.
Be a goldfish. 5-second memory. Flush it, move on to the next.
Braden Flores, 1-1 count. Circle ready. Checks, throws. It'll be outside. 2-1 goes the count. With Immel 180 feet away in this bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, Saints really going to look to cash in this run. You know, try and get a 2-out RBI and knock in Immel, tie this one back up. You know, we saw them respond back in the 4th inning, putting up a 4 spot.
Flores up the middle. Almost gloved by the second baseman. Will allow Immel to round and score. Game is tied at 5-5. Elijah Ramos tried to get a good glove to that one, but a chopper just out of reach for the second baseman. Makes it, I believe, will be scored an RBI. I think that one would have been too hard to get to be unearned. So Braden Flores gets on base now, this time via the hit.
Yeah, going to be a single and an RBI there for Flores. And, just like that, they do respond. They get that one back, and we're once again tied 0-0 ball game. You'd like to go take the lead now for the Saints.
Back and forth game. Zach Late, a guy that got that Saints team last night back into it with an RBI double into the left center field gap. Looking to do some more damage here. Had a single last time up and ended up scoring. Rather, didn't end up scoring, ended up advancing due to Brandon Wynn, who brought in 2 runs. No runners ahead of him. And he did score via a wild pitch. It seems like Zirkle is having a conversation with the pitching coach in the infield.
Yeah, some activity going on, I believe, in the Crawdads bullpen. A little bit hard to tell from our vantage point, but looks like somebody's up and moving. But I think this is, again, just sort of a reset type of pitching mound, not necessarily a pitching change. We saw the Crawdads take this maneuver with Devin James back in the 4th inning after he gave up 4, or at the time, I believe it was only 2 runs, maybe 3, I don't remember exactly, but nonetheless, 4 straight base runners reached. Then they called, a bit of a reset mound meeting for Devin James, and he bounced back, getting a 3-pitch strikeout. So, looking to have the same luck now here is Zirkle.
He came back to retire. The guy in Cannon King, then a sac fly from Panarisi after, so did give up another run in that inning. Then grounded out. So end of the inning on the worst of notes. Trying to copy this formula for Zirkle. Late, inside out, fouls it off to the left side. Count goes 1-1, 2 outs. After Zach Late would be Brandon Wynn. Had an RBI double, almost 2 RBIs, but it was a ground rule double, so wasn't allowed to score any more. Zirkle checks the runner on first and Flores. He retreats back. It's 1-1, rather 2-1, 2 outs. My apologies. 1-1, 2 outs. The count has been all over the place today. Late, shakes his head no, saw it the whole way outside. So now we're 2-1. We'll get there someday.
And we got there.
That's all that matters.
True. True story.
And first strike, Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Flores at first. Game is tied up 5-5. Eventful first kind of half of the game from both teams. Late, chopping. Back to the pitcher, over to first. Zirkle able to get the put out. 1-3 ground out. Score 5-5. It is all tied up as O'Regan returns for the 6th inning. Top of the 6th inning. 2 up for the Crawdads. 7, 8, 9. Cam Taylor, Elijah Ramos, and Shane Aldridge. O'Regan gave up a run last inning. It was unearned, however, due to throwing error by late. The pickoff move late. Got the guy in a pickle and threw it out to left field, and that allowed the runner from third to score. Also allowed the runner and Kevin Parker Jr. to get all the way to third with his speed. But that's in the past as Joe's focused on the now, and that is Cam Taylor, the man up to bat, an RBI last time up.
Yeah, Regan now out for his 6th inning of work. We've seen him go at least 6 innings in 2 separate outings. First one came back on June 13th against the Riptide. He went 6 innings full. Then he went 6 1/3 innings his last time out back on the 27th of June against the Slow Blues. Gave up 9 hits, but just 3 earned runs with 8 strikeouts. We talked about it earlier, but just a guy with good longevity.
Cam Taylor out to right on the run is 2 Saints players. Panarisi the one to glove it, but it is a single for Cam Taylor. It was a loud one that dropped in between the two, the right and center fielder for Arroyo Seco. So leadoff runner on will bring up Elijah Ramos.
And, I mean, in this ball game, you know, it's back and forth in the sense that the Saints, or the Crawdads, rather, call and the Saints respond. 4 spot in the 3rd by the Crawdads, 4 spot in the 4th by the Saints, 1 apiece on both sides in the 5th. Saints yet to have a lead, but now the Crawdads going to look to retake it, and they have an opportunity now with the leadoff guy on.
It's been a repeat after me campfire song between these two teams. You know, Regan out for his 6th inning. Would look like and assume that it's his last inning of work, have 2 guys warming the bullpen for Arroyo Seco, but does have those 5 runs. I believe only 4 of those will be earned to Joe. And already has found a new home, so not necessarily playing for his career, so to speak. Maybe a bit dramatic there, but not playing for a new home, but looking to prove those guys at Nevada that they made the right choice. 1-1 now. Runner on first and Cam Taylor. Ramos 0 for 1, also reached on an error. Almost hitting Ramos. And he's tight on the plate. Anything inside. Pretty close to hitting that shoulder, which is pretty hiked up for Ramos. 2-1. Same spot, too high. 3-1 now. Ramos up the middle. Diving play, gloved. Immel gets one over to first, not in time. Heck of a play by Dylan Immel. Dove. Hit, maybe shaking a bit, but got the lead runner in Cam Taylor. Okay.
Webb, gem. I mean, that was a beautiful effort there by Immel. And, I mean, in that scenario, you know, you lay out for that ball, you glove it, you'd be lucky to get 1. He almost got 2. I mean, just an outstanding defensive play there by the second baseman.
Ramos did his job and put it in a place that was hard to get, and Immel said, wait a second. Well, gotta get that lead runner. Could have been a good situation for the Crawdads. Still have a runner on, but not the dream. Now up Shane Aldridge, 0 for 2 on the day, ground into a double play, which is certainly on. First one he did was in the second with a 4.63. Flew out to left last time up with a part of that 6-pitch inning from Joe O'Regan. Speaking of O'Regan, he'll check first again. Been working in tandem with Zach Late, checking that runner time and time again. 2-0, 1 out. Notches the edge of the zone. O'Regan set. Outside. The other thing you'll notice of Joe O'Regan is a lot of the time he's the first guy set. It's the batter waiting for him, not the other way around. Ready to establish the eye contact, and once he gets the eye contact with the hitter, It's good to go. That one into left field. On it is Cheer. Made a great run at it, showing the speed off and making the second out.
Yeah, I mean, well struck ball there by Aldridge, but just had too much backspin and hung up enough for Cheer to range over and make the grab. And it's a huge out there for O'Regan. You know, you get a leadoff guy on, you get one out, now you get the second one. You got to ride that momentum to close out the inning.
Back to the top of the order for his fourth at-bat of the game, TJ Woodson, and it's crazy. In the 6th inning, already through 4 at-bats for these guys. Grinding out at-bats are both teams, to be honest. I mean, they've just been seeing every pitch at the plate. Again, Joe, 5 strikeouts, hasn't had a strikeout since that 3rd inning, so the Crawdads have had a beat. Foul ball, despite the stolen base attempt from Elijah Ramos. He'll have to retreat back. The count goes 1-1.
Yeah, to your point, it not necessarily is the case, but it really feels like the case that both sides, it's either, you know, be really aggressive, go get it within the first 2 pitches, or be really patient, you know, work that pitch count. It's sort of going both ways to extremes tonight. I mean, we saw a 6-pitch inning from Joe O'Regan back in the 4th, but then this one, you know, these innings and the pitch counts really catch up to you.
Now one into center, dying Win has to see that one drop in front of him. Station to station go the Crawdads. 1-1 count, sees Woodson get on base. His second hit of the game, another single. So from Woodson to Pulasic, the 2-hole hitter for the Crawdads. 2 for 2 day with a walk. It's been probably the best Crawdads hitter on this Thursday evening. 2 runners on, first and second. Ramos, the leading one. Breaking ball lands. First pitch strike.
And I feel like that's another thing that Joe O'Regan on the mound has been really strong at, is getting ahead of Crawdads hitters. And you know, it goes without saying, you know, you get ahead of a batter, your odds of getting him out go increasingly up.
Into center, Win under it. And we'll get out number 3. No runs come across. Despite some traffic, O'Regan most likely ends his outing on a high. We'll head to the home part of the 6th. Can the Saints break this one open?
Jason McDonald.
Oh, Cody.
Cody hit 95, right?
Is that the newer?
Cody 94.
No, it's got to be Dylan.
Or Dylan.
Cody, right?
Dylan.
Oh, Dylan, 96?
He was 4.
Dylan, 97, I believe.
Point what?
Oh,
It's around
97 Dylan, for sure.
Dylan,
97.
Dylan's the final.
Wait.
Either Dylan 95 or 96. Because Cody top 94 that first out of the through. So it's not Cody.
Yeah, go Dylan 96.
But who's the player?
Dylan.
Dylan Pierce.
All right, John, you answer this one. Ready? Go.
You got it.
No, actually,
Oh,
I don't know.
Mason answer.
It's Dylan, 96.
I said Dylan.
Okay, Dylan. 95.
95.
I say
Dylan
96.
No, nobody is throwing as hard as
No,
Dylan.
Dylan definitely throws the hardest.
Yeah, Dylan.
I think it's 97.
Was it a
I
7
don't
or
think
was
it
it
was
a 6?
Let's
Let's go 6.
I don't think it's 7.
Dylan, 96, final answer.
6.
Those are both correct.
Yeah! Oh, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah!
Wow.
Bottom of the 6th, new pitcher for the Crawdads. It is Cody Perry.
Yeah, Cody Perry, a guy who hasn't had a whole lot of action this summer, but the action that he does have is very impressive. Cody Perry with 3 appearances this summer, going 1 inning flat in each of those 3 appearances. 5 strikeouts of 9 outs recorded, no runs given up, and a 1-0 record.
4, 5, 6 do up the heart of the order for Arroyo Seco and Brandon Wynn, Cannon King, and Carson Panarisi. Cody Perry originally went to Trinity College, which is a small school in Connecticut. Decided to transfer after a first year where he didn't really play. Then went to Claremont Mudd Scripps for the last 3 years, and he's been lights out for CMS. I mean, especially last year. First team All-SCIAC, third team All-Region, 16 starts, 4.7 ERA, 7-1 record. 3 innings of no-hit baseball on no rest in a super regional game. So he's a guy you like in these high-leverage situations. And like you said, 3 innings pitched, not a high sample size in the CCL so far, but he's shown it. 0-2 to win. Chopped up to the first base dugout and foul.
And you can tell by Perry's delivery, he's a guy that, you know, has good pace to him, and he sort of has a very quick motion, and he's, you know, trying to almost rush these batters, make them feel a little bit panicked and try and feel like he can dominate them.
4-seam slider, sinker, mainly. Has about 6 pitches listed, but the one thing you can see say for sure is a 4-seam slider guy. Win off the end of the bat, foul. Was just late. Maybe not just late, pretty late. But the foul ball, 0-2 again. Win a 2 RBI double, or rather an RBI double with a ground rule double. Could have brought home 2, but decided to hop the fence instead. Grounded out his first at-bat. That one, thought it was off the ankle, but it was just inside near the foot. Count goes 1-2. Brandon Wynn only his 8th game played for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Batting another RBI, or has 3 home runs in those 8 games. Tied for second on the team. Big swing and a miss. Breaking ball gets him swinging way out of his shoes.
Yeah.
First out.
Gross breaking ball there. I mean, gets way on the inner hands of Wynn and just gets the swing and the miss right over the top.
From Wynn to King. Has struck out his last 2 times up. His last at-bat was coming off the back of that Brandon Wynn RBI double and a home run in that inning, so was swinging for the fences. But I mean, yeah, you got to think King's a guy that's always swinging for the fences. I mean, he knows what he can handle, what he can put out beyond the wall. 0-1 for King. We mentioned the slugging percentage, .583, leading the team by about 70 points. Also leading the team in home runs. Second on the team is Brandon Wynn, the man that bats before him now. Breaking ball lands outer part of the zone. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out on King. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cannon.
And now you got to be careful. You know, you have a 2-strike count, does Cody Perry, but, you know, you got the scouting report on Cannon King. He's a guy who loves to swing and has pretty good success when he makes contact. So you definitely got to be careful with the put-away pitch.
King swings it back. Will go again. King 4 for his last 11. But prior to what's happened in this game is on a 3-game hitting streak. 2-2. King, swing and a miss. Didn't get any of it. So 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts for Cannon King. Perry, back-to-back Ks for him.
And, you know, you look at the numbers for Perry coming into today. 3 innings pitched, going 1 inning per appearance, 3 total appearances. So, you know, if trends stay the same, you could suspect that this 6th inning will be his only inning of his relief appearance. But, you know, he's keeping up those strikeout numbers. 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. He's now up to 7 strikeouts and 11 total outs recorded so far this summer.
Has the strikeout stuff, and he was a starter at CMS, so can go for length, but maybe want to build him up more. 1-0. Turns to 1-1 to Carson Panarisi, a ground out and a sac fly. As that bat's also the one that saw a wild pitch, end up scoring a run. Panarisi's been doing the little things recently. 2-0. Out to right. Under it is Aldridge. Gloves it for out number 3. No runs come across for either team in the 6th. We'll head to the 7th inning. Back end of the game, it's 5-5. Top of the 7th here. It's a 5-5 ball game in the dying embers. Dylan Cesare here alongside Riley Horn. I'll pass it all along to Riley Horn for the back end of this game.
Thank you, Dylan. Riley Horn alongside Dylan DeCesare. And on behalf, again, for our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey, thanks for tuning in here on the Saints streaming network for the action tonight between the visiting Walnut Creek Crawdads and the home Arroyo Seco Saints. New arm on the mound for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Joe O'Regan, the starter, his day is done, and Angel Escobar takes over.
Escobar, 3.68 ERA and 7 1/3 inning pitch, 5 strikeouts, and his game is that slow curve he likes to throw. Has a fastball, but mainly that curveball comes in about the mid-60s, but you know, the harder it comes in, the harder it goes out. Since he throws in the 60s, it's hard to really get solid power on a lot of Escobar's pitches.
Breaker just missing the inner edge. 2-1 to James Coupland, followed up by Bryden Bull and Kevin Parker Jr. And, you know, as a hitter, you're really taught once the velocity levels get up there, you know, and the pitch mixes start becoming a thing where it's not, you know, when you're in Little League, it's just fastball every single time because nobody really knows anything else. But, you know, once the velocity starts coming up and the pitches get developed, you're told to sit fastball and react to an off-speed pitch. But, you know, with Escobar, that might have to change to mostly, you know, be prepared for that breaking ball because he's going to throw it a really strong amount to you.
I mean, I don't have the numbers up right now, but I'd assume with about 70-80% curveball, but had 20% with that fastball. And again, the fastball is not up there in the velocity, about the low 80s, but when he throws it with that curveball, it just seems so much faster.
2-2 goes to it. It's hit on a line, picked on a one hop by Flores across the diamond for the 6-3 putout.
And that's your shortstop helping out the pitcher. And Escobar did a little bit of a delayed kind of winds up right there, really held it, and they had to wait on it. Copeland just did not get rewarded. Heck of a play by Flores, that shortstop too.
Seen some good defensive plays so far tonight.
Oh, yeah.
On the Saints side. A couple of really good plays. That one scorched with a lot of spin, and Flores able to handle it, throw across with plenty of time. Here's Bryden Bolt. 2 strikeouts and a ground out for him so far tonight. There's the breaker from Escobar. Called strike on the outer edge, 0-2.
Only one hit on this series versus the Saints. It just hasn't been the 2-day stint for Bryden Bull.
He sits on the breaker. Diving play by Flores. Throws over in time. Web gem on web gem for Braden Flores.
He did it once. Why not do it again? Ain't broke. Don't fix it. Go get that ball. Throw it to first. Braden Flores. He's bounced around the infield. He has that utility. Versatility doesn't mean anything if you ain't good at all of it, and he can do all of it.
So here's Kevin Parker Jr. with 2 gone and the base is empty. Escobar so far 2 up, 2 down. Through his last 8 batters faced, has faced the minimum. Had a 2-inning appearance back on the 2nd against the San Diego Waves. As this one's lifted into shallow right field and put away by Zach late. 3 up, 3 down inning for Angel Escobar out of the pen, as we'll stretch it out here in Pasadena. Bottom of the 7th inning here in Pasadena. Still a tie ball game, 5-5. Cody Perry, who came in for the Crawdads last inning, 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts. But as we suspected, keeping on his 1-inning mark and now passes it along to Samuel Johnston.
Johnston arrived for the Crawdads June 21st. That was his first appearance. Versus Philippines, went 1 inning, no runs, but the last 2 innings, or rather last 2 outs he threw, because he's only thrown 2 outs since then. 2 innings, and in those he gave up 7 runs combined. So really looking for a bounce back here from Johnston.
Rising redshirt freshman at Cal Berkeley from Pleasant Hill, so hometown kid staying up in the Bay Area, playing for his hometown team in the Walnut Creek Crawdads. 2-0 the count to Brody Cheer. Now 3-0. Cheer followed up by Nishiwa and Emmel. Johnston as a Cal Golden Bear, teammates with a Saint from last year in the form of Gannon Snyder. That one's a called strike, and they're on Cheer, 3-1. Snyder playing for the Saints last year, coming from Wichita State, hit the portal and found a new home for the Cal Golden Bears. Got really good playing time this year up in the Bay Area. Really strong defensive season from Snyder this year out in the outfield, and he was a guy that really could play everywhere. Did for the Saints. Played the corner infield, corner outfield spots, even pitched an inning at the very end of the year. It was a fun season to watch as he made his move from Wichita State to Berkeley.
It's kind of like watching Kike Hernandez try to conquer every single position on the diamond. I mean, the fact that he goes and gets to throw an inning at the end of the year, that's awesome. I feel like it's every fielder's dream.
3-2, tied him up inside, swing and a miss for strike 3.
Great pitch right there from Johnston. Gets him down, and now bring up Nishiwa, the great bat-to-ball skills.
I remember it was last year. It was one of the last games of the regular season. The playoff picture was essentially already set, and I don't remember the score of the game, but I want to say the Saints were up by a good 7, maybe 8 runs. And, you know, the playoff picture was already set. It was like last game of the year, second to last game of the year, something like that. And, yeah, a handful of the position players got to pitch an inning, and I don't remember who we played either, but they ended up scoring a couple and making their way back into it off the position players. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was all just for good fun. There's nothing really on the line as the Saints had already clinched the playoffs by that point.
I mean, why not? Why not, you know?
Yeah, it was fun. 1-2 the count to Nick Nishiwa, waving around that bright scarlet bat. Called strike 3. Johnston going to the breaker and freezing up Nishiwa.
The breaking ball has been great for Johnston, and he's starting to piece together some good pitches now. 2 outs, the farthest he's gone since his first appearance of the season. So a bounce back in a sense for Johnston.
Of the last 5 batters in the Saints order, 4 of which have gone down striking out. It's been 5 up, 5 down, or I guess you could say 6 up, 6 down if you go back to the 3rd out of the 5th. But quiet here in the 7th and quiet last inning in the 6th, going 3 up, 3 down against Cody Perry, who had a really strong outing for the Walnut Creek Crawdads. Still tied at 5 apiece here. 2-0 count to Dylan Emmel down in the 9-hole second baseman. And, I mean, you look at that scoreboard, 5-5 ball game. And, you know, you got to think, coming back off the All-Star break, Arroyo Seco looking really strong through their, you know, couple of games here. Taking last night against the Crawdads, tied now through, you know, into the 7th inning against the Crawdads. Crawdads are the 3rd best team according to the CCL power rankings and, you know, the entire CCL. And so you look at that and, you know, with the first half of the season for the Saints not going the way you want, you know, there's a lot of optimism through just these 2 games hanging in there with one of the best squads in the league.
I think the Saints, something we've seen is they play up to competition regularly. I mean, there's about 2 or 3 results that Arroyo Seco has had where it's been, you know, that's a blowout or something like that. I mean, think about the Santa Barbara Foresters game or the Academy Barons game, 14-1. But other than that, they've been hanging with some of these great teams. The Slow Blues, when they went up to San Luis Obispo, they took 1 of those 3, and the score lines were all pretty close. Not a bad game. The only really down part was up 8-0, then lost that lead, 9 unanswered, which is unfortunate, but they've been hanging with these elite teams, these top 3 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Been looking strong heading into the All-Star break. Now coming back down off the All-Star break is Dylan Immel. Draws a 2-out walk. He's aboard first base. And, you know, to your point, playing up to the competition and doing a strong job of that, but at the same time, going to have to limit sort of playing down to the competition when you look at the games that have been really close and, you know, slugfests against some of the affiliate teams, which, you know, stereotypically wouldn't be as strong of teams here in the CCL. And, you know, you look at the standings and they're not necessarily up there in the rankings when you factor in those affiliates. So, you know, it's going to be that battle now going towards the rest of this season, coming back into the second half through the month of July, having to stay playing at that high level against those teams where, you know, you would think it'd be a chalk-up win.
I think the thing is, with the Saints, I guess, so to speak, playing down to some competition in a sense, that's what's really had their season a bit derailed, and that to the 15 losses. But those 8 wins they've had have been against, a good amount of them have been against quality opponents. I mean, they took a win versus the Riptide as well, another quality team, so they've made it happen on the upper echelon, but they've just dropped really rough ones that they should not be dropping to those affiliate teams or teams that are just on the lower end of the CCL spectrum. I mean, it is the duality of baseball in a sense as well. I mean, it's just the nature of the game. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some, but maybe losing too many to teams that should be beating, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Up steps Jacob Freer. I mean, we were talking about walk-up songs earlier. Freer with a little switch of the walk-up song. I believe he started the year with Miss Jackson by Outkast, I think.
That
was him?
I do remember because, I mean, I don't know if I know you're a reggae guy, so I'd say that's
reggae guy.
I would say that's in the reggae kind of sphere, his walk-up song.
Yeah, now it's changed to Cool Down by Kalohe Kai.
Oh, you got the name.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good song. Great song.
Look at that.
I think his was Outkast, unless I'm thinking of somebody else.
There was Outkast.
Somebody absolutely had Miss Jackson by Outkast. I think it was Freer.
I think it was, because it was towards the top of the lineup, and he's been in that 1-2 area for the whole season.
Called strike, 1-1 the count to Freer, the All-Star, who homered back in the 4th inning but flew out and struck out otherwise so far tonight.
Well, I don't think I've asked you this. I know I've asked Nick this. What was your walk-up song?
I switched mine really every year.
Okay.
You know, you get guys who have consistently, you know, the same walk-up song every year. But, yeah, back in my day, I say that as a 20-year-old.
20-year-old, yeah.
80-year-old in a 20-year-old's body, but injury-prone and feel like I'm in an 80-year-old body anyway. I switched mine up here and there. I had Jay-Z. I had some country songs.
Yeah.
I switched it up every once in a while.
Bit of everything.
Yep. 1-2, down low. Count evens up at 2 apiece, and we're at our next Deuces Wild situation here in this one. That was something that we did a lot last year and not this year, was we would like tally our Deuces Wild situations just for fun. Haven't done that this year, but maybe we'll start here in the second half to go along with the theme of twos.
I've heard a lot of them.
2-2 pitch upstairs to Freer. Count runs full. Good job by Freer to work his way back into this one. It was Dylan Immel who is on first base, and he drew a full count walk as well. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. A 5-5 ball game with 1 runner on base. He'll be in motion. That's Immel. Payoff pitch to Freer. Down low. Back-to-back walks for Arroyo Seco, putting 2 on with 2 outs.
Now in the dangerous part of the order. I mean, Jacob Freer already dangerous, showed it today with the homer, but now going to Braden Flores, had the RBI last time up. I mean, this is a situation you want to be at. Again, 2 outs, yes, but we've seen the Saints do better and better throughout the season on 2 outs.
And, I mean, of all guys you want up in this situation to go along with your point, it's Braden Flores, the team leader in RBIs with 20. Next closest being Evan Reeder with 15. 0-1 count as he fouled off the first pitch. And Flores is singled his last time up with an RBI, so he's up that tally now to 21. But still Reeder being the next closest with 15. So definitely the guy you want up in this situation. Oh, 1 and crossed up there was Coupland behind the plate, and he's going to go have a conversation on the mound with Samuel Johnston.
That was a scary situation. It could have. It's most likely just a mistake by Johnston, but maybe also not be on the same page. And whenever things like that happen, it's kind of an audible. No, it's not really audible because everyone just goes quiet in the stadium and just. Ooh, that's kind of the reaction from everyone. Just not something you want to really see.
1-1 count to Flores. It's driven into right field, down for a base hit. Coming around to score is Immel. Heading to third is Jacob Freer, and into second base is Braden Flores. The Saints take their first lead of the night, 6-5 ball game.
Braden Flores, another RBI, extending his team lead. Finding that right field grass. Saw it well. Johnson started out this inning, 2 strikeouts. The best some of the best he's looked all season long. And after that, the 2 walks, the run right there. Maybe more pending with a dangerous bat and Zach late. Great for the Saints.
This one's into right field off the bat of Zach late. And that one is a ground rule double as well. Second ground rule double we've seen in this one. But that knocks in 2 more runs, and the Saints extend their lead.
Ground rule double brings in 2 RBIs. Not out of the woods yet are the Saints. They need to do stuff on the back end of this with the pitching. But this is a great start. Up by 3 now, maybe looking to add more with a dangerous bat and win. But late, another day with RBIs. And he's been in his groove. Oh, I feel like every time he gets it, he's in this position. This is what happens when you're in the 3-hole. He's bringing home runs.
So now a mound meeting going to be called, and looks like they're going to go to the bullpen. Samuel Johnson's day is done. We can stick around here on the Saints streaming network and talk through this. I'll correct myself, as now catching behind the dish, taking the spot of the starting catcher in James Coupland is Brandon Clisby. He's behind the dish, and he checked in an inning ago, and now he's behind the dish for the Walnut Creek Crawdads. They had that listed on their roster, and I completely forgot about it. And you know, he checked in, and I said something about Coupland earlier this inning, and then got completely distracted about it, and then wasn't necessarily paying attention, and things got a little out of hand, and the Saints now have a lead. So
it's difficult to see the catcher's number with all the gear on and everything like that. It covers up exactly, but I mean, I think he got to the right part of it at the end. Saints have a lead now, and they've done it in a great way. Zach Lay and Braden Flores, 2 dangerous bats, and both all-stars as well, showing they're worthy of that moniker. So what a 2 days for the Arroyo Seco Saints. I mean, the starting pitching has seen, those 5 runs come across in both games, but since then it's been the bats getting alive and late into these games. They're really bringing it to them and showing that this is the team they want to be, and they have in them the whole season long.
Yeah, already 3 runs in the bank here, all with 2 outs. Samuel Johnston came into this one and really quickly got 2 outs in the form of back-to-back strikeouts. But then since then, the Saints have been able to string together a really strong 2-out rally, getting 3 plated here with an opportunity for more. Still Zach Late out on second base. I mean, Late has been a guy, you were talking about him right after he hit that ground rule double. But, I mean, he's just an absolute workhorse. He's got that mentality that, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and he's a talented guy that does work hard. So
that's both worlds.
He's got, everything. He's just an absolute workhorse for the Saints, and been a really strong bat in that, end of the first, beginning of the middle portion, that 3, 4, 5, sometimes, even later into the lineup.
Yeah.
Wherever you put him, he's just going to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, when you put him in the 3-hole and give him players like Jacob Freer and Braden Flores and even the bottom of the lineup when they're leading off the inning, and Dylan Immel. These are guys that get on base. That's what they succeed at doing. And Zach Late, he just knocks them in one by one. That time brought in 2. And he had 66 RBIs last season at Old Dominion, leading the team for a reason. This guy, they knew when they came here, they were getting their 3-hole hitter. This is going to be our guy, and he stepped up into situations, earned himself the All-Star, title without even beginning the season with the team.
So the Crawdads go to the pen. Samuel Johnston, his day is done, recording just 2 outs in this one. He came in at the start of this inning and now is gone, and they're going to go to Trey Galino, another UC Berkeley Golden Bear, and he's going to try and get out of this jam. Runner on second base with 2 outs for Brandon Wynn, a guy with a really strong bat, and Galino's going to have to work around him and try and get an easy out here, but, I shouldn't have even said easy. Try and get a out here, as it's not going to be an easy one from Wynn.
Trey Galino started the season kind of rough in exhibition versus the Red Tails, the team not even in the CCL, but he's really came into his own the more he's pitched for the Crawdads.
1-0 down low. Galino, the redshirt freshman at UC Berkeley. 4 appearances so far this summer, all out of the pen, 1-0 record, 4 1/3 innings pitched with a 6.23 ERA so far. Behind 2-0 to Brandon Wynn with a runner in scoring position. Tied him up inside, went around on the check swing, did Brandon Wynn. He had devilish intentions with that swing, but got fooled.
Yeah, he wanted all of it. I was thinking in my mind, I was talking about this yesterday with Max Langer, your yard card, put it down. I'm putting mine down here. I think Brandon Wynn might be due.
Check to swing up top, but this time holds back 3-1. A good count to do it here is Wynn, but, we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. Just to recap this inning, strikeout, walk, single, and a ground rule double. 3 across with 1 more 180 feet away. 3-1 outside, and that's ball 4. Now 3 walks this half inning.
Takes the walk, great at bat from Brandon Wynn. Battles back as well. They keep the chain going, pass the baton. It's a 4-by-1 relay, if you will, except it's been going on for more than 4 batters, and they're continue it going. Ken King now. He's really looking to right the ship, a guy that wants to get going today.
Up steps Cannon King with 2 on and 2 outs. He takes a hack at the first offering, keeping that aggressive mentality as he always does, and it goes into the Saints dugout. So final line on Samuel Johnston, who started this half inning for the Crawdads. He went 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts, although I shouldn't say his final line. He's still responsible for Zach Lade out on second base, so book is not just yet closed on him. But that's his line as of right now. 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts with 2 outs recorded. 0-1 pitch to King. Swung on and missed. Now 0-2, a scary spot to be for King. But definitely, still an optimistic approach to this at-bat. King not having the day. He's looking for 3 strikeouts so far and looking to keep the 2-out rally going for Arroyo Seco. Galino delivers. It's outside, ball 1.
Yeah, King maybe looking to shoring up. Good job taking that pitch right there. He's, had big hopes for these last 2 at-bats with big swings, but maybe come up on the bat a bit, try to just knock it through somewhere, through the gap. Use the hands.
One, 2. Fouled back. Straight into the catcher, Clisby, and will stay alive.
Live to see another day. Got good heads up to just foul that back. really stay in there, dialed in. I mean, this 2 outs, hitting, walking, taking pitches has been fantastic for Arroyo Seco after getting those first 2 guys out in a hurry.
One, two, back foot in the dirt. Count evens up at 2 apiece. Big at-bat here for both sides. Galeno coming in, giving up a walk to Brandon Wynn, who's over on first. 2 on, 2 outs, trying to get out of this jam. Cannon King trying to keep it going for Arroyo Seco. 8-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Down low, count runs full. Great job by King to work it back to a full count. Now both base runners going to be in motion.
King, maybe a man for the drama. Full count now with those 2 runners on. We'll tighten the batting gloves. We'll take a second. Like you said, Riley, this is a big stop.
Payoff pitch. In the air to center field. Drifting over on it is Bryden Bull. He camps underneath it and makes the grab for out number 3. But the Saints get 3 across, take their first lead of the night, and we'll head it 8-5 to the 8th inning.
Today we're going to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to see if anybody's coming to the Saints game tonight.
You guys like baseball? Well, we have a game over there. The Arroyo Seco Saints for Pasadena. It's at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Come and watch it at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Baseball, yeah, sure. Yeah? A baseball game, Arroyo Seco.
Yeah!
Jackie Robinson Field.
Oh, I know that.
Do you like baseball?
Nah, not really. I'm just bringing it. I'll be honest with you.
You guys are big.
A
Baseball game?
Yeah, we got a baseball game happening at the Jackie Robinson Field at 4:30.
Yeah, we'll come out for sure.
For sure, okay.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah,
We'll
go Saints, go
We're going that
Saints.
way.
Sutter Moss, Cam Taylor, Elijah Ramos, the 3 due up for the Walnut Creek Crawdads, chasing 3 runs against the new arm for Arroyo Seco, making his Saints debut, Tyler Hawkins.
And Tyler Hawkins, a guy from Bucknell looking to go into going into his junior year now, from the Orange County area in Santa Ana. Last year at Bucknell, 7.99 ERA in those 17 appearances, 23 and 2/3 innings pitched. And the year before that was a 20 ERA, only 1 appearance, so not much of a sample size there, but looking to get some first real action with the Arroyo Seco Saints in his first game.
1-1 the count to Sutter Moss, who singled back in the 2nd, walked back in the 3rd, came around to score, grounded out back in the 5th, now for his 4th plate appearance. That one upstairs, now 2-1. Saints with their first lead of the night. It's an 8-5 ball game here in the 8th inning, and we talked about this a little earlier, but really nice to see the Saints, now with a lead against one of the best teams in the CCL, the 3rd best team in the league. Crawdads with an 18-6 record coming into today. Saints 8-15, and it's just really nice to see that the Saints are starting to figure things out a little bit, and, you know, they're going to need to, coming towards this backstretch of the season, get some more wins up into the column and, you know, try and get themselves into the postseason picture.
And they're not out of it. Yeah, I mean, I think kind of the sense of that first half of the season being a real struggle for Arroyo Seco, falling 7 games below 500. I believe now they are still 7 games below 500, but falling in that category a lot in the beginning of the season, and it was kind of out of the question in a sense, but not statistically at all, and they know they can maybe come back into it, and like you said, I mean, everything just kind of showing a bit of how this team can really play right now against a great team in the Crawdads.
2-0 the count to Cam Taylor. Crawdads with just one more game played than the Arroyo Seco Saints, if my math is correct. But, you know, the offense for Arroyo Seco looking a little bit sharper. Crawdads with 223 total hits and 189 total runs. Arroyo Seco with 218, so right behind him, just 5 less hits with a little over 40 less runs with 147. As the runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. Throw down in plenty of time to gun down Sutter Moss at second base.
That is a massive throw down to second from Nick Nishiwa. I think what's the best about that is you're helping the counterpart of your battery out. First batter he sees of the CCL season walks him. Those last four pitches of the at-bat weren't too great from Hawkins. But just take that out of the question now. He doesn't have to worry about that runner and just focus on what's ahead of him in a 2-2 count.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. So in back-to-back pitches, back-to-back outs are recorded, and the bases are empty with 2 gone here in the 8th.
And then he comes back and strikes out the guy. I mean, that is a confidence. That is playing for your teammate. I mean, that's something that's going to Nick Nishiwa's real for being a great throw down to second, but that's going to end up on Tyler Hawkins now because he gets that strikeout. I mean, it's a domino effect, and you're helping out your guy.
First pitch down low to Elijah Ramos, who's hitless so far tonight, although he's been on base, reaching on air and a fielder's choice. Just to finish the thought about, you know, the offenses for both these teams. The Crawdads with more hits and more runs scored, but Saints with higher team averages, on-base percentage, and slugging percentages. So, you know, they're two teams that have been, on paper, pretty equally matched, although the record's a lot different. But, you know, we've seen today that, you know, the Saints, despite being towards the bottom of the CCL South, are hanging in with the top of the CCL North, or towards the top. I guess the Blues are at the very top, and then, you know, the Crawdads are right behind them. So it's really good to see.
That middle part of the, as that one gets to the backside, the middle part of the CCL North, it's a pretty weak, you know, division. I mean, the Sonoma Stompers are in there. The rivals of the Crawdads, they're kind of in that kind of Saints area in terms of record. But then you have teams like the Seagulls and the Menlo Park Legends, which are down there at 10-9 in the power rankings. So, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say, but because teams don't get to play each other all the time, but maybe the level in the South is certainly at a very high place right now. A team like the Saints is last in the South, hasn't had a great season, yes, but is bringing it to a team in the North that's a great team in the North and would be a great team in the South as well. It's just interesting how it kind of stacks up. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, I agree. So down to the 9-hole in Shane Aldridge, 0 for 3 so far tonight. That one inside. So another base runner reaching via the walk in Elijah Ramos. He's over on first. Last one just 2 batters ago, Sutter Moss, cut down by Nick Nishiwa on the base paths. And the thing that I wanted to mention about that but didn't get around to is I'm not 100% sure about this. Might have to rewind the tape and check, but I'm pretty sure out of the corner of my eye I saw Nishiwa hit a Steph Curry, like, turn around, not even look.
No way.
I could be so wrong about that, but that's at least what I thought I saw. But if that happened, that would be so cool. Like, turn around because you know the guy's out. How sweet would that be?
We need to go back and look at it. I mean, I think Nick's the type of guy. Nick Nishiwa might be the type of guy to do that, has that confidence. I mean, he's a great guy to be around.
I mean, great transfer through an absolute seed down there. Just gave it right in the tag zone to Braden Flores. All he had to do was catch it and put the tag on. I really hope he did, because that'd be really cool.
Even if that didn't happen, let's speak it into existence.
True.
And we'll just if we need to put AI on it to make it so he actually did it, we'll go and do that in
We
post.
can do that later on in the editing process.
We'll do it in post.
We could do that in post. That'd be so cool. Another Deuces Wild situation here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Shane Aldridge. 0 for 3 so far tonight. Runner on first base here in the top half of the 8th. Pulled on the ground, foul towards first base. The other thing I do want to say is I just looked over at our production computer, and I'll apologize to all you viewers out there who might think we're playing at midnight with no lights on right now. The sun goes down right behind home plate here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, and it beams right into the lens of the camera, so the ND filter has to go on, and then midway when the sun goes down, we turn it off. As that one swung on and missed, 4 strike 3, and out of the inning is Tyler Hawkins. I'll finish that thought when we come back for the second half of the 8th.
Baby, if I seem a little bit distracted, like I'm in another place and another time. Well, I apologize for the way I'm acting. I just got a lot of loving you on my mind. Ever since there's a morning, I've been wondering how you do that thing you did last night. Well.
Here for the last of the 8th in Pasadena on the Saints streaming network. Our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey. My broadcast partner, Dylan Cesare. I'm Riley Horn here, taking you through the action. Bottom of the 8th with Carson Panarisi, Brody Cheer, Nick Nishiwa due up against a new arm for the Walnut Creek Crawdads. Up steps Jeremy Jones.
Jeremy Jones, a CCL North All-Star, so a guy that's coming into this game with that experience, and he's someone I thought they would kind of keep for tomorrow, but maybe an attempt to kind of salvage this game, get more close or shut down innings. He'll probably only go this inning and a next one if they can get to it. Maybe not too much of a worry, but a guy that's coming off a great performance last time up, giving up no runs, and he's just been getting better and better again. An all-star for a reason.
0-2 upstairs to Panarisi, who's hitless tonight with an RBI on a sac fly back in the 4th. And the Saints just 3 outs defensively away from closing this one out. Taking 2 of 2 from the Walnut Creek Crawdads in their 2-game stint here in Pasadena. This one chopped right back to Jones on the mound, who goes over to first in time. A little bit of a confusing one, as Carson Panarisi might have thought it was a foul ball, but either way, it goes down as a 1-3.
You got to think if he's running that out the whole time, he might get on just how slow that chopper was and just what the angle was, but that's the first out for Jones. He'll get it however he can.
And again, started this thought at the very end of last half inning, but I'll continue it here on the Saints streaming network. We apologize, as it looks like this game is being played at midnight with about 1 light shining on the field. I promise it's not that dark. It's just the ND filter on the camera out in center field is on, and we did not have the opportunity to head out there and turn it off. And, you know, an ND filter, just for, you know, if you're not familiar, is basically like sunglasses for a camera. And you turn it on as the sun beams straight into the lens once it starts going down. And we have it on so that, you know, it doesn't look like we're playing on the surface of the sun, but then we can't turn it back off. Backhanded attempt by Elijah Ramos at second base on the ground ball by Brody Shear. We'll await the official scoring on it before we say anything.
I mean, I don't. Maybe that's an error. I'd say yes, because I think it was interesting because it bounced towards him and then he tried to glove it, but he just kind of forgot the ball as he was coming through that one, heading it to first. It is an error officially, E4 on the second baseman and Ramos, but Shear will reach however he can. First time reaching today.
Base runner on for Arroyo Seco with one out here in the last of the eighth. Looking to extend upon their 3-run lead that they took an inning ago in the seventh. As here's Nick Nishiwa. Another guy who's so far hitless tonight. Been on base once with a walk back in the third inning. Puts it on the ground to the first baseman. Taylor steps on the bag. Tag going to have to be applied and is in time for the double play. Out of the eighth is Jeremy Jones, and to the ninth we go here on the Saints streaming network. Final frame here in Pasadena. Walnut Creek Crawdads, Arroyo Seco Saints. Saints up by 3 runs, meaning a save opportunity for the new arm out of the pen in Dylan Huang.
Hasn't recorded a save on the season. 12 innings pitched for Huang, 6 ERA, 1.42 whip, and 6 strikeouts. Last time out was versus the Waves on July 2nd, just before the break. Pitched an inning, 2 strikeouts, nothing else. No runs came across. Big situation for a guy that's going into his freshman year at Villanova, so a big spot. See if Huang can do it. He's had some good stuff all year long, though, so maybe he's up for the challenge.
And of all parts of the Walnut Creek Crawdads to come up chasing 3 in the 9th inning. It's this part right here. Top of the order, 1, 2, 3, TJ Woodson, Daniel Polasek, and what will be Brandon Clisby as he checked in for James Coupland behind the dish a couple innings ago. 0-2 pitch down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes to TJ Woodson. Singled back in the 3rd as well as back in the 6th. 2 for 4 days so far. Huang delivers, called, strike 3. Backwards K for out number 1 in the 9th.
Gets him out looking. That slider been looking better and better for Huang, and it's just a great pitch he performs, or pitches it to perfection. First out and away, and a big bat in Woodson.
Now Daniel Polasek. Been on base 3 times tonight with 2 singles and a walk. 2 runs scored as well. Called strike, 1 at the knees. Don't want to say anything too soon, but, you know, you look at the stat sheets for the Arroyo Seco Saints, and, you know, like you mentioned a couple nights ago, it's really been the bullpen that's been super strong. That's a called strike 2, 0-2 on Polasek. Joe O'Regan, the starter, going 6 innings, giving up the 5 runs that the Crawdads have scored, only 4 of which were earned, though. As the 0-2 pitch is just down low. But then Angel Escobar, first time out of the pen, goes a 3-up, 3-down inning. Tyler Hawkins, who made his Saints debut tonight, gets 3 outs and 4 batters faced. 2 walks surrendered, but 2 strikeouts as well, and a caught stealing. 1-2, he fights it off. Nick Nishiwa picked up Hawkins there by gunning down the leadoff walk for out number 1, and then strikeout, walk, strikeout again for Hawkins in his debut. So now to Dylan Huang with 1 gone in the 9th and a save opportunity. He delivers. It's swatted the other way, but tails foul. One ball and 2 strikes still our count. Huang delivers. It's upstairs. 2-2.
Huang is looking for the put away. Maybe see a slider right here. Went fastball outside, maybe slider back foot.
On the ground to the third baseman, Freer, who manages to get the glove on it and throws across for out number 2. Despite a weird hop that the ball took, Freer handles and gets the out.
It's a great way to adjust for Jacob Freer. Go cross diamond. Save hands all throughout the day. 1 error from Immel in this game, but the infield, it's starting to show up again, and Freer making that latest play.
Now the 3-hole hitter, and Brandon Clisby, who I believe checked in. According to their pregame roster sheet, it was going to be Coupland, who had innings 1 through 6, and Clisby, who had 7 through 9. So Clisby would have checked in the 7th inning, meaning he's 0 for 1 so far today with a ground out. Now on a 1-1 count with the bases empty and 2 gone here in the 9th inning. Up the middle into center field for a base hit. Trying to spark a 2-out rally is Clisby with a 2-out single.
The Dads aren't done yet. And out a dangerous hitter in Bryden Bull. Long can't get too comfortable now with that runner now at first in Clisby. And 2 dangerous guys coming up in Bull and Parker Jr.
0 for 4 days so far for Bull. So he takes a called strike 1, and, you know, look at an 0 for 4 day, 2 Ks, 2 ground outs, and then you compare that statistically to the numbers. This would be his moment. Huang going to do his best to not allow that to happen, pick up the save, and send the Saints home happy. Called strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes. Crawdads down to their final strike here. Bryden Bull with 2 gone and a runner on base in the 9th. He delivers. It's fouled off. We'll do it again. Oh-2 from Hong. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, had a pitch to waste. Maybe not the exact thing he wanted. Just placed it too far outside. Maybe goes back to that pitch and then goes slider. Interesting to see the sequencing.
The 1-2 swung on and missed. Tag applied on the drop third strike by Nishiwa. And Dylan Huang picks up his first save of the summer. 8-5 final score here. Arroyo Seco Saints take the win. What a game for Arroyo Seco, and what a series, really, if you look at these 2 games as a series. Taking 2 out of the 3rd best team in the CCL.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good accomplishment, and they're starting to show their quality again. We talked about it. Against these good teams, these top 3 teams they've all played, they've had mixed results, but they've come up to play for the most part. And versus the Crawdads, this is probably one of the best series they've had. Take both. Walnut Creek will have a trip starting to go back up north versus Slow, and then we'll head fully back home to the Walnut Creek, Danville area. But how about the Saints, and how about that bullpen? I think that's the story of the day for me personally. I mean, went scoreless yesterday, gave up 1 run. So having this bullpen these last 2 days really pick up the starting pitching and show out that they can be trusted, especially today having 3 separate guys, not just 1 guy, going and shoving all these innings and doing a great job. It's 3 guys that all come, do their job. The infield behind them. How about those play from Braden Flores? I mean, I think there's a lot to take from this game that's just so good. I think it's the place you want to be. I mean, sometimes in wins, like this is the thing that brought them to win. You can't really name everything in this one because there's just so much. They just did great all around the board. All 3 cylinders were just working today.
Yeah, really well-played baseball on all fronts from the Arroyo Seco Saints. They take the 8-4 victory. Joe O'Regan, starting pitcher, going 6 innings, giving up those 5 runs. But then Angel Escobar, Tyler Hawkins, and Dylan Huang all going an inning each, giving up just a combined 1 hit with 4 strikeouts. Really strong day from the bullpen, strong day offensively, strong day defensively, like you mentioned. Handful of highlight defensive plays by the likes of Braden Flores, Dylan Immel, couple of others, and all-around well-played baseball game for the Saints tonight. So that'll do it from here in Pasadena. 8-5 our final score. Saints' next event going to be at the Conejo Oaks this Saturday, set for a 4 p.m. first pitch. Make sure to tune in right here to the Arroyo Seco Saints streaming network to catch all the action in that one. For tonight, on behalf of everybody here at the Arroyo Seco Saints Baseball Organization, we thank you so much for tuning in. For our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey, my broadcast partner in Dylan Cesare, I'm Riley Horn signing off, saying so long. Saints win 8-5, and wishing you a great rest of your evening.